He's going to ask sort of the same thing today from Pierce Banks to give them a strong start. As you mentioned, we might see some unfamiliar faces on the bump for them. But let's talk about this Birmingham team. Winners of 7 of their last 10 ball games. They've been red hot. They've completely changed their lineup. Their pitching has helped out. And we're going to see Sam Bass on the mound today. But Chase Rodriguez, Ray Hilbrick, Matt Piotrowski, they've been the surgeons for this team.
Yeah, really the opposite of Eastside, as their offense started slow to start the season and then really has resurged as one of the best offenses in the USPBL. They added power to their bats. Chase Rodriguez, 6 home runs to start his USPBL campaign. He came just a few weeks ago and already has 6. He's been unbelievable, really has been a spark for this Beavers team, and everyone around him has just gotten better as he's gotten good stats for the Beavers. And if their offense can keep it up, keep putting up runs, that's how they got on that winning streak. And really, they're getting hot just at the right time with under a month to go until we crown our USPBL champion.
Birmingham had a 10-5 loss back last Sunday against the Utica Unicorns. They're looking to bounce back. Let's talk about Sam Bass. Just his 2nd start this season, but he's been really good in his time, making his 3rd total appearance. He was in relief last time.
Yeah, he started in relief, 4 innings, 2 earned runs, but the outing before he started gave 5 scoreless innings. That's huge for the Beavers. And really only Greg Lokinen has been the foundational starter for this Beavers team. If they can add somebody like Bass, have another great start, that can give this Beavers team a lot of good momentum, especially as we go towards the playoffs.
And one last thing, we'll talk about how big of a game this is for Eastside. They're a game and a half back of first place, a half game back of 2nd of the Utica Unicorns, a team that's lost 7 of the last 10 ball games. They're going to need to win today just because of how much it means, not just in the standings, but also their confidence level because they've been struggling.
Yeah, I mean, not only do you need momentum going into the playoffs, but you need a good standing. If you can play less games to get to that championship game and to ultimately win it, to only be a game and a half with really how they've been playing really shows their great start into this league. And so if they can find that momentum back, get it back for the playoffs. We've seen how dangerous of a team this can be. If they get that May Eastside Diamond Hoppers offense going, as long with that pitching staff, they can be a really dangerous team and really a good favorite for these playoffs.
Pierce Banks goes for the Hoppers. It's Sam Bass for the Beavers today. 7:05 start here. When we come back, first pitch and lineups from the USPBL Network on Back to School Night and Thirsty Thursday, presented by Congressman John James.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
It's a beautiful night for baseball here in downtown Utica, Michigan at Jimmy John's Field from the USPBL Network. Alongside Jacob Maurer, I'm Tom Cavanaugh. We're set for a good one today. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers, the 3rd place Hoppers at 19-19, taking on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, 4th best team in the standings at 14-21. And before we get into all the details for today's game, we're going to take a look at the sponsors that make today's broadcast possible. Belfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, Corewell Health, DTE, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom Audio Video Solutions, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Pepsi, and United Wholesale Mortgage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
Well, the band is on the field currently as we're set for a full 9-inning ball game today. It was an early start to our week, Jacob. We saw a 5-1 victory for the Mammoths last night on a Wednesday. Haven't played a public game on a Wednesday all year long. We're going to do it in back-to-back weeks, this and the next week. But once again, the Hoppers in front of fans, 2 straight games in a row. They come together with just 1 run. They're going to need a better offensive day today.
Yeah, it's so weird because they're so flip-flop between non-public and public games. In the non-public, they score tons of runs, and then in the public games, they look like they did last night. So I think their coach was saying that they just need to pretend there's no fans, that there's nobody here, that it's a non-public game, and with that, they can do pretty good. I mean, being the road team, I guess you can pretend that none of your home fans are here, so I guess you can eliminate that. But looking at for a good start for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, they had such a good start to the year, and then as we progress through June and July, or as we've gone through July and August rather, they've kind of slowed down. So as they can get their footing ready for this offense, and we'll see what they can do with this batting order.
Head coach Ryan Kottke posts this lineup for today. Eastside Diamond Hoppers leading it off with Colin Cornwell in right field. Grant Stevenson will bat second at shortstop. Noah Marcoux in left field bats third. Cleanup man is Ben Ferguson, the DH. Todd Maddox bats fifth, plays third base. Batting sixth is Zeb Rose in center field. Batting seventh, Matt Gehrig at first base. The catcher, Whit Hughes, bats eighth. And rounding out the lineup, Bailey Martin at second. Jacob, you take a look at this lineup. This is a team, as we mentioned, struggling in front of fans. One guy today, the key catalyst that's going to help progress this team to a victory. Who's it going to be?
I feel like it's Colin Cornwell. He was fantastic yesterday, had 2 hits for this Diamond Hopper squad. Bailey Martin also had 2 hits yesterday in the 9-hole, but Colin Cornwell, he's the guy who starts it off. He's the guy who gets your rhythm going. Will try to get on base early, and then you have to rely on that front to middle end of your lineup if you want to score some runs. You know, Marcoux's in a little bit of a slump. If he can get going, Ferguson, the RBI machine that we saw earlier in May and June, just keep that offense rolling. Consistency is what they're going to need tonight.
You look at last night's ball game, 1 run on 4 hits for the Hoppers. 2 hits, they were a pair of doubles from Cornwell and a pair of singles, or a single and a double, I'm sorry, from Bailey Martin. So the bookends for this lineup on back-to-back days, they were the bright spot yesterday.
Yeah, and they're going to look to continue that today. Maybe more players get into that action. They're going to need it. Only 1 run yesterday. Going to need some runs in today's game. We saw such a good offense to start this season. We know it's there. They're just all in a little bit of a slump. They can get it going today on this Thursday night. Could be great swinging for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
We'll take a look now at our pitcher comparison for today's ball game. It's Pierce Banks taking on Samuel Bass. And you look at these numbers, I mean, obviously a ton more innings for Pierce. He's been the go-to guy this year for Eastside. But Sam, he's been great in the short amount of time that he's been on the mound.
Yeah, both guys having fantastic strikeout to walk ratios. Pierce Banks, 60 strikeouts compared to 23 walks. He knows how to throw strikes. He knows how to control that zone. Now 4-4 on the season. He started off hot, kind of has regressed a little bit going into July and August, but I mean, he has the stuff. We know how good he is. 3.23 ERA, still very solid. Trying to have a good outing here for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Now Samuel Bass, on the other hand, not as many innings pitched, only kind of fresh to this USPBL league, but still 1-0, had a solid start. In his only start, he started 5 innings, giving up 0 runs, and then his other outing was in relief, giving up 2 runs. That's how you end up with that 2 ERA right on the dot in 9 innings pitched. But he's been solid. That batting average is a little bit up, trying to get that down a little bit, but still has a great strikeout to walk ratio, 9-6.
It's going to be interesting to see as well as we progress through today's ball game, because these Eastside Diamond Hoppers are playing their 4th game in 3 days, and they're playing 6 ball games in 8 days over the course of this week. So we watched John Kelly yesterday throw 109 pitches as the starter for the Hoppers. They had to move into the bullpen with a few arms, but today they got to look for Pierce Banks to go a strong 5, 6, maybe even 7 innings, and then turn it over to a very limited bullpen.
And we've seen Pierce do it before. He can definitely get the arm out there and pitch those innings. He's an efficient pitcher, but they're going to need it. As you mentioned, Tom, their bullpen is very strung out through these past few days, and playing a lot of games. It's very demanding on the position players, but also the arms. They're so limited. It's going to be a big outing for Pierce Banks and the Hoppers.
National anthem in just a moment. When we come back, first pitch between the Beavers and Hoppers on a beautiful Thursday night. It's back to school night here from USPBL.
The USPBL powered by UWM baseball games at Jimmy John's Field are the fun and family-friendly experience you won't want to miss. Entertainment every week, including Thirsty Thursdays, fireworks every Friday, live music Saturdays, and Sunday fun days for the kids. Kids run the bases after every game, and parking is always free. Come see the stars of the future at Jimmy John's Field. Get your tickets today at uspbl.com.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
A huge shout out to the Lakeshore Marching Band taking us through the national anthem, and we are set for baseball. Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers at 14-21, taking on the 500 19-19 Eastside Diamond Hoppers. We'll get right into the defensive lineup here for the Beavers, presented by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Behind the plate doing the catching for Sam Bass is going to be Tyler Shin in one of his first games with the Beavers. He went deep in his debut with Birmingham. Christian Ortega at third base. Ben Wilcoxon plays shortstop. Matt Piotrowski over at second, and Joe Burke at first. And your outfield for the Beavs, left to right, goes Blake Bean, Chase Rodriguez, and Pablo Ruiz.
It's been such a fantastic defense all season long for the Beavers. One of the best teams as far as committing errors, as far as the fewest errors committed on this defensive side. They always play a solid defensive game. Looking to see what they can do tonight.
22 double plays turned from this Beaver defense. Also 25 errors combined or compared to 35 for Eastside. So you're right. I mean, head coach Diesel Dombrowski and those Diesel defenders, they do so much pregame work defensively. It shows on the field.
It really does. I mean, defense is such a big part of this baseball game. You know, not having earned runs be because of errors, or I guess more runs being scored because of errors. It's so big in this league, especially a professional league. You want to have great defensive play, and these fans want to see that as well. So great defense, that's what the Beavers show. And it also gives your pitcher a boost. When you can play good defense behind him, he can be more confident with what pitches he wants to throw.
And Jacob, we take it back to yesterday with these Hoppers. There were multiple times there were errant throws or pass balls or wild pitches that led to extra runs for Westside. They scored 2 or 3 of their 5 runs because of a throwing error. The first run of the game was scored by Westside on a pass ball, and it's just been some errors and some pitching for that Eastside team that have plagued them in innings where let's be honest, it's been a couple innings throughout a ball game where they give up 4 or 5. It's not like they're playing a full 9 innings of bad baseball. They'll have 1 or 2 shaky innings, but because they're giving up a chunk of runs, it's hard to climb back. They're always playing behind the 8 ball in these last couple of weeks.
And really, a lot of those errors are just back to back. It can really crush the motivation for your defense if you continue to do that. So if you can play clean baseball throughout, it can translate to the offensive end. Just play clean baseball, minimize the mistakes. That's the name name of the game and the game we love called baseball. So defense is so huge, and the Beavers have one of the best.
A couple of Spartans in the booth today. Jacob Maurer, Tom Cavanaugh on tap as Colin Cornwell gets us started just after 7 o'clock. Samuel Bass through the windup. First pitch is high for a ball at 7:04 p.m. It's a beautiful 80 degrees. No wind swirling in center field. The pennants in left are moving out towards left center. Strike called to Cornwell. As you mentioned pregame, he had a hot day yesterday.
Yeah, and Cornwell having 2 doubles yesterday, had half the Eastside Diamond Hopper hits trying to get on to start this game.
Bass delivers a fastball just off the plate outside. Your umpire crew today is Nick Kabitsky behind the dish. Gary Wagon shoots is in the field. Bass just his second start as a Beaver. That breaking pitch misses a little bit downstairs.
And Bass is working quickly. He's getting that signal and delivering.
Now he's going through the motion with 13 seconds left on that pitch clock. Cornwell takes strike 2 with the letters. He thought that was ball 4.
And sometimes that can be good for pitchers. If you find your rhythm early, no need to stop. You want to keep it going, get out of the inning. That's what he's trying to do here.
Cornwell wags the bat over the left shoulder. 3-2 pitch is swung on and driven to right center field. Back goes Rodriguez. He's underneath it at the track and hauls it in for out number 1. Nice swing from Cornwell, just not enough.
Yeah, just missed it barely, but great swing to start off the game. If you can continue to get those will drop, or at least go farther for maybe even more damage, but great swing by Cornwell. Good out, though, for the Beavers.
Beavers in their home white pinstripe jerseys with the navy block numbers on the back, and the Beavers block lettering across the front in white, trimmed in navy blue. Ball 1 to Grant Stevenson as he's sporting the road black jerseys with Eastside in orange and green across the front. Here's a foul to the screen, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And those are some pretty nice jerseys. As we saw up close, they're pretty thin too, so it allows the players to at least be more breathable when they play in them.
Bass dropping the glove through the windup. 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball. Catches the upper inner corner. And I think, just my opinion, those Beaver pinstripes, I'm not a Yankee fan, but those pinstripes are clean. I think they're my favorite in the league.
Yeah, I only think the pinstripes look good on the Yankees, but I like it more clean look. Still sweet jerseys, though. It's an awesome mascot, too, if you can get a beaver on your hat.
They got a good one. I love the Hopper logo. Not the DH as much, but when they have the actual cartoon logo, it looks great. Stevenson swings through the slider. Blocking it up his shin. He clears a lane and throws to first. 2 up, 2 down. Nice strikeout from Bass. That's his first.
And quick and efficient, as we mentioned earlier. That's how he's going to try to roll in today's game. Get a strikeout any way you can. Little chopper on that. Just clean it up, throw it over to first. Good for the second out in this inning.
Hoppers didn't have their first hit last night until Martin came up in the 3rd inning. There's Noah Marcoux. He was 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday, taking ball 1.
Marcoux's someone who was hot to start the season. He was basically unpitchable. Pitchers would try to pitch around him, else he would crush one out to right field. Has a lot of power in this bat.
He's been quiet of late. 6 strikeouts in his last 9 at-bats. We need a big day from Noah Marcoux, and he does as well for his confidence in psyche. Such a talented hitter at the plate. 2-0 is a line drive to right field. That's the way to start it for Noah.
Just as you drew it up, Tom. And a little bit of a slump. What do you need? Just a nice hard rip ball into right. 103 miles per hour off the bat from Marcoux.
Such a clean swing, man. That was a middle challenge fastball at 88 miles an hour. It's very rare that Noah misses that pitch right there. So instead of their first hit in the 3rd inning, they get one in the first. 2 out, 1 on for Ben Ferguson, the Chandler, Arizona native. Back-to-back lefties. 3 of the first 4 hitters that Bass will see come from the left side.
Ferguson's a guy who knows how to drive in runs. I know Marcoux isn't in scoring position right now, but when this Diamond Hopper offense was hot, he was leading the league in RBIs. He knows how to deliver with guys on base.
Second on the team, 1 behind Marcoux. 25 for Ferguson. He's also got 9 extra base hits, 5 doubles, 4 bombs. Pretty wide stance, squats down as he wags the bat. Bass checks the runner once, twice, 3 times, now goes home. Tap foul, gets a quick piece of Either Shin or home plate umpire Nick Kubitsky, neither were affected.
And we're seeing Bass kind of work slower now that there's a guy on base. I mean, you figure that, right? Because you want to check the guy at first and then go back to home plate for your pitches, but we'll see how that messes with his rhythm.
You're right, he's holding it for an extra beat. Instead of 13 seconds on the clock, it's down to about 4 or 5 when he delivers from that stretch. Misses upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes to the hot-hitting Ben Ferguson. Infield and outfield, play Ferguson straight up. The 1-2, foul back again. Nice off speed at 79, climbing the ladder up and outside.
And a good thing that these USPBL players do is they know how to battle in counts, especially Ben Ferguson. He'll foul a couple off and get the pitch he wants to hit.
And all 4 teams have been a lot better at that as the season has progressed. First couple of weeks, we saw a ton of strikeouts early in counts. Here's a ground ball to first that gets by Joe Burke. Marcoux's going to chug on to third base. No throw from Ruiz in right. It's runners on the corners with 2 outs for the Hoppers.
And Tom, this is really what the Diamond Hoppers needed. They need a hot start to start off this game, especially with their offensive performance yesterday. 2 outs. You want to get something brewing. Now they have runners on the corners. This is a big at-bat for the Diamond Hoppers as they look to take the lead early. But great swing here. A little bit misplayed by Burke, but still a tough play to if you're right there at first. So
he just didn't have a ton of time to get his body in front. As a first baseman, you almost have to treat it like a catcher just to keep the ball in front, because you don't have to make a throw. All you have to do is pick it up and touch the base.
It's quick, too. You need a quick reaction time if you want to make that play.
Saw Fox Liam have some snazzy plays over last night at first base for the Mammoths. Here's Todd Maddox, league leader in doubles with 8. Takes a breaking pitch for strike 2. Nice pitch from Bass. He's quickly up in the count.
This is important for Bass. You start off the game great, get out of this jam, and get the momentum back with the Beavers.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Sam Bass pitches around a couple of hits from Marcoux and Ferguson and picks up 2 strikeouts to start his day on the bump for the Beavers. We go to the home half of the first inning. Birmingham comes to bat here on the USPBL Network on a thirsty Thursday.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
Bottom of the first inning, alongside Jacob Maurer, I'm Tom Cavanaugh from the USPBL Network. It's the first time up to bat for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, and we'll now take a look at their lineup, posted by head coach John Dombrowski. Pierce Banks, he toes the slab for Eastside, the best pitcher on this Hopper team, and he's going to look to give a strong outing, a 4-4 record for Pierce, making his 13th game start.
And this is a guy who knows how to throw strikes, and the Hoppers are going to need him in this game. Going to need to deliver against this Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers batting order.
Ben Wilcoxon will get things started for the 14-21 Beavs. He plays shortstop. Blake Bean batting second in left field. Batting third is Matt Piotrowski at second base. The cleanup man is Joe Burke at first. Ray Hilbrick will DH and bat fifth. Over at third base, batting sixth, Christian Ortega. Batting seventh, Chase Rodriguez in center field. The catcher, Tyler Shin, will bat eighth, and Pablo Ruiz rounds out the lineup in right field. So we mentioned a 10-5 loss back on Sunday for these Beavs. Last time they were here at Jimmy John's Field, and Wilcoxon swings at the first pitch and sends it out of play. Nearly out of play on one bounce. No chance for either Gehrig or Cornwell.
Squared it up nicely, just a little bit late on that one.
And we've seen very solid game plans from opposing hitters, opposing teams against Pierce Banks. They do one of two things very well. They jump on a first pitch that's really good, and they usually don't miss it. They do a really nice job of barreling up Banks in the last couple of weeks. But they also do a nice job of upping his pitch count. He might be into the 80s, 90s over his last couple of starts on average in the 4th or the 5th inning, and that's due to because a lot of these hitters are grinding through 2-strike counts, fouling off pitches, taking balls out of the zone to work to a full count, and figuring out walks.
And it goes back to what I said earlier. The USPBL this year, batters have done such a great job of working at bats and trying to find their pitch.
0-2 does not miss by much to Will Coxon, a man that does not strike out as much as anybody else in this league. Will Coxon, 123 at-bats. He has struck out 10 times.
He knows, he has a good eye for the ball. He knows how to make contact with pitches. With Pierce Banks, a guy who throws a lot of strikes, it's going to be important if he wants to put one in play.
Hoppers had a chance to strike first in the top half of the inning. Stranded runners on first and third. Samuel Bass picked up 2 strikeouts. It's now Banks' turn on the bump. And there's a breaking pitch called on the inside corner for strike 3. If anybody's going to strike out Ben Wilcoxon, it's going to be Pierce Banks.
No shame in that. Pierce Banks, one of the best pitchers in the USPBL. Told you earlier, he knows how to throw strikes, and he gets a ton of strikeouts on all his outings. Maybe a reason why his pitch count is a little bit high when he finishes at least his past few outings, but he knows how to work batters. Great start for him.
I also think it's because a lot of these hitters have seen Pierce several times, 8, 9 times over the course of the season. So they understand his tendencies. They pick him up a little bit better. They understand where pitches are going to be located, what type of movement a fastball or a curveball has from Pierce. So that helps out a little bit as well.
Especially because there's only 4 teams in this league. He's only facing 3 batting orders any given day.
Bean tapped the first pitch foul, now takes a ball inside 1-1. Heck of a start to the season for Blake Bean, a .271 average. And he's been comfortably in left field, batting second or third all season as he misses this pitch foul.
So much foul ground here at the USPBL. A lot of room to run. We've seen some fantastic catches. Maddox almost had a chance there. But again, so much room. It's hard to close that ground.
Yeah, a lot of times, most ballparks, there's a souvenir on a fly ball like that. Even the one that Will Coxon hit down the right field line, that's out of play in most ballparks. Not here. 75 to 80 feet of foul ground as Bean shoots one down the third base line. Again, foul.
Again, all these pitches, Blake Bean has been able to foul off. He's making contact, able to fight, trying to find his pitch.
Bean 19 for his first 70 in the league. 2 home runs, a double as well in those 19 knocks. Another foul ball back to the screen. We just mentioned it. This is why hitters are able to have success off of Pierce Banks, because they get bat on ball. Not necessarily in play for big swings, but just continuing to make him throw pitches.
If you can tire out the arm, you can find your pitch. That's the key of success here.
Bean takes upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes to the lefty out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. Played his high school baseball at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Went to Kalamazoo College for a pair of years, then Lenore Rhine. Heck of a college ball player. The 2-2 is outside. And heck of a professional ball player now since he's jumped onto the scene. And he plays a very clean left field as well. And you talk about another guy that does not punch out very often. 6 walks compared to 5 strikeouts so far this season. Another foul ball.
That's why. He makes contacts on the strikes, and he has a good eye to see the balls. Started the count 1-2, and he's worked it all the way to full. This is such a fantastic at-bat. Already an 8-pitch battle between Banks and Bean.
And Pierce could likely be at close to 20 pitches through just 3 batters. As Matt Piotrowski waits on deck, the 3-2 was swung on and missed. Not 79 miles an hour out in front was Bean. He just missed it.
That's huge for Pierce Banks because you need to be efficient. They need you to eat up some innings in this contest. And if you're going to have a 9-pitch at bat, you better end it with a good ending. And he did right there. Nasty pitch.
It started about 4 head high on Bean and snapped right back down to the letters. Nice start for Pierce. Back-to-back strikeouts to start his outing. And Pietrowski lifts one out to left field. Not deep enough. Marcoux to the track. He'll put that in his back pocket for out number 3. Both starters with a pair of strikeouts in the first inning of play. We are scoreless as we go to the second. This is your home for USPBL baseball.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
With a transforming world, we can see how drastically the world is heading towards automation. And so, we need 24/7 surveillance and security systems for our homes and businesses to avoid any theft or breach of privacy. JARPCOM brings the installation of security cameras to the tip of your fingers with our state-of-the-art mobile app. JARPCOM also provides surveillance monitoring of your entire property with flexible options that offer a dependable solution to be scaled to fit any domestic or commercial need. Contact JARPCOM today for a free estimate at 800-369-0374 or look us up on the web at jarpcom.com.
Second crack at it here for the Hoppers. No score, top 2 is Samuel Bass. Takes the bump for the second straight inning. A pair of strikeouts, but he also gave up a pair of hits. Good to see Eastside getting some knocks, but Samuel Bass, he controlled well even against those 2 base hits.
And we'll see, this is a big inning for Bass and also Eastside. Hitting is contagious. If you can keep the line moving, you can get some runs, but Samuel Bass seemed to lock in on that last hitter.
That slider was working well for Samuel. Got a strikeout on Grant Stevenson and then finished the inning on a strikeout to Maddox. Here's the 1-0. Cut and a miss. Rose, Gehrig, and Hughes. 6, 7, 8 hitters. Middle of the rubber is Bass. He takes a long lean in to get his sign as he drops the glove. High and outside.
And Rose started the season hot for this Eastside Diamond Hopper team. One of the 6 who was batting over 300 has kind of cooled off a bit. See if he can get his bat started.
Line drive caught on the mound by Samuel Bass. Cat-like reflexes, and he helps himself out with a put out there. Not the hardest hit ball, but still, when it's coming right back at you, they got to make a nice snazzy play like that.
And remember, pitchers are defenders too. Right at him, bang! Makes the catch. Quick cat-like reflexes. He may be called Bass, but that looked like a cat right there.
Here's Matt Gehrig. First pitch is a fastball high. Gehrig was off last night. He did pitch in a non-public earlier this week. He's throwing about 88 miles an hour, swing and a miss. On that 87-mile-an-hour pitch there from Bass makes it 1-1.
And a lot of these guys are telling us that they used to pitch in high school, so they have the arm. So that's cool to see Matt Gehrig out there.
Foul to the screen, 1-2. Yeah, talked with Patrick Baggett of the Unicorns. They tried him out as a pitcher when he was in college at Florence Darlington. Bailey Martin, pregame, we were talking with him. He was a pitcher back in high school. A lot of those middle infielders, they have a cannon, so at some point in the younger years, they probably transitioned out to the outfield or infield as well as pitched. 1-2 is a called third. Samuel Bass is dialed in.
Good to see. Great start, just like the first inning. We'll see if he can finish it off for a 1-2-3, but making plays on defense, going right back to the mound, striking them out. Beautiful pitch right there.
And that catches the top of the zone. So to Gehrig, that pitch looks around near the neck, upper shoulder area, and he just didn't recognize the spin that fell right down at the top of the zone for strike 3. 3 total strikeouts for Sam Bass now as Whit Hughes takes a hack and fouls it back. Hoppers lead the series 7-5 in 12 meetings this year against the Beavers. Hoppers won the first 4 meetings to start the season. Hughes another foul ball, make it 0-2.
And I know I was asking you earlier, Tom, how much does that matter, the head-to-head matchup, because these guys see each other so much, but I mean, you look at the trends, you look at the different numbers, really means a lot, but the Beavers have really had the backhand of this matchup past few weeks.
0-2 to Hughes is lined out to center. Back goes Rodriguez. He's having trouble with it. This ball's a one-hop off the wall. Hughes will cruise in with a 2-out double. Nice swing from Witt right there. He nearly hit it out.
And that was knocked. Perfect launch angle, just up against the wall in the deepest part of the ballpark. Got to feel good for Witt Hughes.
He's all smiles, baby. Rocked this baseball. I thought Rodriguez had a beat on it at first, and then once you saw him turn his back to the ball, lost it for a moment, and it bangs against the Lawrence Tech sign in center field.
And no wind, but that ball carried.
Yeah, it did.
Just kept on going, and Rodriguez took a step in and then started to go out. So maybe he could have made that play, but still great swing by Witt Hughes.
Runner in scoring position for the second straight inning for Eastside with 2 outs. Bailey Martin, last batter in this Hopper lineup. Takes a breaking pitch on the outside corner for strike 1.
And Martin with a good day yesterday, went 2 for 4. Had half the hits for Eastside. Only him and Cornwell were able to record hits. A double and a single as an opportunity here with Hughes at second.
Bass works third base side of the rubber out of the stretch. Misses with that 87-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-1.
And this is similar for Bass between this inning and the first inning. Got the first 2 outs, then a couple of hits, puts a runner on. With runners in scoring position, though, one opportunity, had a big strikeout.
Here's a pulled fly ball down the left field line. It's going to get into the bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Martin. We've seen him have some pop this season. Martin with 3 home runs and 5 doubles on 24 total hits.
He can pop one out for sure if he finds the right pitch. But all they need here is a single. Keep the line going. Get your first run.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Samuel Bass, my goodness. Sits down Martin for his 4th strikeout and strands yet another runner. That's 3 total now for Eastside through 2 frames. We go to the bottom of the second inning. No score between the Hoppers and Beavers on the USPBL network.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
When it's time for baseball, it's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Home Brewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. Fans enjoying a thirsty Thursday. It's also back to school night here at the ballpark. Shout out to Two Hearted Ale from my man down there on the first base side.
Nothing like baseball and beer, especially at the USPBL.
And with it being back to school as well, that's got to be, I mean, I always was frustrated with back to school because you had a couple days to get all of your materials together to start that, whether it was high school, middle school, college, I don't care. It was that last week of the summer that just, it was sad. You didn't have a lot of time left, and then you're back into the swing of things with 8 hours of classes every day.
Yeah, just knowing the 9 months that you had ahead of you. College a little bit different because you get a little bit of a break after the semester, and you actually choose to take those classes, but high school, middle school, elementary school, those would be tough days.
Jacob currently at Michigan State attending communications and sports journalism, my same major when I was there. I graduated back in 2022, so a couple of Spartans taking you through today's ball game as Pierce Banks toes the slab for another inning. Banks was solid in the first. Couple of strikeouts and a deep flyout from Piotrowski. 1-2-3 is all you can ask for, but they did make him throw a fair amount of pitches.
Well, it did help that the last batter flew out on one pitch.
High pop-up, shallow center field coming out. Stevenson makes the catch. Ranging far to his left, cutting off both Rose and Martin for out number 1.
Speaking of one pitch, the second best thing is 2 pitches. 2 pitch out there, huge for Pierce Banks, especially as we know how he works with batters. If you can get quick, efficient outs like that, that'll be big for him to go a long period of time in this game.
Very clutch, because you take a look at the first 2 batters of this ball game between Wilcoxon and Bean. He threw darn near 15, 16 pitches. And then, you're right, first pitch to Piotrowski is a fly out, same thing to Burke to open up this inning. Ray Hilbrick squeaks one down the left field line. He's going to turn on to second base. Marcoux fields it in the corner. Defending batting champion Ray Hilbrick has a 1-out double in the second inning.
That was huge, so close on that foul line. Just hooked right at the last second and stayed in play. Now the Beavers have their first hit of the game and 1 runner in scoring position. Watch this replay. Gonna go dot that line. Just inches off.
Some spray paint might have flown up on that. Great swing from Hilbrick going inside out down the left field line. And now Ortega, the defending home run derby champion of 2024, will step in. Grounds one to shortstop. On a bounce for Stevenson. Checks the runner. Guns to first. It's in time. And there's 2 gone with Hilbrick stranded at second base currently.
Another 1 pitch out for Pierce Banks. That's huge. Efficiency is going to be so important in this game. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Grant Stevenson able to field it, flip it to first. Huge second out here in the bottom of the second.
That is major, because you're not even at 20 pitches yet, and you're 2 outs through the second, heading into the 7th batter in the lineup, Chase Rodriguez. Yanks the first pitch fouled on the first base line. Rodriguez was a late addition to this team. Came on about a month ago, but in 17 games he has been electric. 15 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and as Jacob mentioned in the pregame, 6 home runs for the lefty.
A lot of power in this bat, and he has a chance to do a lot of damage.
0-1 pops out of the glove of Hughes. Nowhere to go for Hilbrick. .313 average for the man out of Las Vegas, Nevada. 13 RBIs, a lot of those coming on home runs as well.
And we talked about Marcoux' swing, but Chase Rodriguez, another one who has a pretty swing from the left side.
Banks, first base side of the rubber, holds the glove near the ear, checks Hilbrick at 2. 1-1 is tapped off of Rodriguez. Just coming around the baseball a little bit, everything's yanking down that first base side.
Again, just battling, trying to find his pitch. Can be huge against Pierce Banks, but he's done a nice job, Pierce has in this game, finishing off batters who want to test him. But against Chase Rodriguez, one of the toughest to do in the USPBL.
This is the 3rd straight frame. Either team has had a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Nobody's come up with a clutch hit yet. The 1-2 is in the dirt.
I like the pitch, though. You're ahead in the count. Throw him something away. He's shown he's been aggressive early, but Chase Rodriguez showing good discipline there. Still, I like it from both sides.
Bailey Martin at second base, shaded in the hole. Gehrig at first is off of the first base line. The 2-2 is outside and high. We're going to push to full. Rodriguez on the year, he's got 1 more walk than he does strikeouts. 12 walks, 11 Ks. Stands in the very back of that box. The 3-2 is in the dirt. He walked him.
And great at bat by Chase Rodriguez. First 2 strikes, able to foul it off, stay alive. Then having a good eye. Pierce Banks trying to get him down low in the zone to strike out swinging. Showed good discipline, and he's rewarded with first base.
And Jacob, you mentioned it. You're looking to get your pitch. And I think maybe one of those 2 for Rodriguez was a really good one to go after and swing at. But just fouling those pitches off and continuing the at-bat until he got something good, which in turn he didn't, considering the last 2 missed. But if you're able to find your way on board and have a chance for another base runner to score, that's all you can ask for as Tyler Shin takes strike 1.
That's big, because if you can make contact nothing worse than a swing and miss because you know you're nowhere near the pitch. But if you can make contact, you know you're right on it. Just need to geek a little bit, and you can get it.
Ground ball to shortstop. Stevenson elects to go to first base, and the throw a little bit low, but snagged by Gehrig for out number 3. And Pierce Banks strands a couple of runners. A double from Hilbrick and a late walk to Rodriguez do not come to pass. We go to the 3rd inning, no score. Hoppers and Beavers on the USPBL network.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
JJ the Water Boy, we'll talk about him after the next 3 outs. He's making his rounds around the ballpark, the absolute star of the show at all times. He's not the only JJ in attendance today. Congressman John James, it's his sponsor night tonight as it's back to school at the ballpark. He was here early talking to a lot of the fans. Had a chance to shake his hand, get to see him before today's game. So double JJ's at the park today.
It's cool to see all the connections the USPBL has here. I mean, it's good public reach right in downtown Utica. A great way for politicians, band members, anyone out there to get their start.
Samuel Bass through 2 innings. He's allowed 3 hits. He has also struck out 4. 3 total runners left on base, 2 of them in scoring position as Colin Cornwell bats for the 2nd time. Flied out to center field his last time, takes a strike on the outside corner.
But on that flyout, he had a really nice swing. See if he can keep it up.
Almost pulls the trigger, holds up as that's in the dirt, 1-1. It was Cornwell who shot the left center gap last night for an RBI double in the 6th inning. Earlier today, he went to the right center gap and flew out. Swing and a miss, make it 1-2.
He's someone who doesn't really walk a lot. A lot of his time on base is through hits.
Yeah, through nearly 50 at-bats, just 10 strikeouts, 7 walks. Riding high with that fastball at 87. Makes it 2-2 to the man out of Saginaw Valley State. Attended Utica Ford High School, not too far from our ballpark. And Cornwell goes the opposite way, gets it right by Ortega. Colin Cornwell, man, 1 for 2 to start today's game. 3 hits in his last 4 plate appearances.
And that's what he does, man. He can spray it anywhere across the field, going the opposite way there. Ortega not able to catch up to that one. Going the opposite way, getting on base any way you can. Huge leadoff batter and a huge leadoff runner for this Eastside Diamond Hopper team.
He is a base-stealing threat. Very strong lead at first. 3 stolen bases for Colin. He has not been caught yet this season. And there's a strike on the very outside corner to Grant Stevenson, who went down swinging last time.
Cornwell has more than a cautious lead over there at first.
Nearly
we can expect him on the run here.
Like to see him go, challenge the arm of Tyler Shin. Bass has not thrown over yet. He's got 2 seconds on the ticker, and this ball's yanked in the other batter's box. Down to second goes Cornwell. I think Bass might have held that for an extra moment too long, leading to that wild pitch.
And really, the mentality of a pitcher is so different with runners on versus runners not on. Now, Bass has done a great job today with runners on so far in this contest, but having the guy over there at first, you know he's a base-stealing threat. It can kind of mess with you a little bit, kind of cause him to pull that pitch. And Cornwell ends up at second.
Stevenson pops one up. This could be playable. Coming over Shin. He has room. Can't make the catch. It's off his glove, and Ortega had a shot at it. That would have been a sweet play if Ortega's able to come down with it, but Tyler Shin, the catcher, just overran the baseball.
Yeah, we talk about this Beavers defense and almost a fantastic, almost bloop play there. Shin almost made a fantastic play on the run, but it bounced up. Ortega had a chance just about a foot away from it.
And that's a really hard play for Tyler Shin because that pop-up did not get very high in the air. So Shin has to pop out of his crouch, throw the mask off, locate the baseball, and then run over and try to make a catch. That's so many different moving parts going on to make that catch, and with not a lot of time because the ball was not put in the air all that high.
I was just surprised that he got a glove on it.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, especially with that mask on, your peripheral vision is really blocked, so you need to know where it is, have good instincts.
Shin is now set up outside on the 2-2 pitch. Samuel Bass gets a swing and a foul ball to the screen. Besides that one wild pitch, Bass has really honed in on the zone. Here's another look at it. Oh, if Ortega takes one more step closer to that right side, he might make that catch.
Especially his rebound. He has to have good instincts for that, too.
Stevenson goes down swinging for the second time today. A 5th strikeout for Sam Bass through 2 1/3 innings. My goodness.
He's dealing tonight. Having great pitches, getting good strikeouts, efficient counts too. It's not like these Diamond Hoppers are getting too far up in full counts.
And that off-speed pitch is working beautifully because it's starting about belt high right there and then falling to the bottom of the zone. He's also used it up near the shoulders on Gehrig, dropping it down to the letters. So he's working it in a myriad of different ways, but he's throwing them all for strikes and having success against these Hopper hitters.
That's a big out too because you keep Cornwell over there at second. Don't put it in play. A ground ball could have gotten him over to third. Now he stays at second. It gets rid of that sac fly opportunity.
Bass about to throw his 50th pitch. Marcoux waiting on the front foot. Rests the bat on the left shoulder. He's 1 for 1 with a single today. Count moves even at 1 apiece.
It was good to see Marcoux get out of that slump. He ripped the ball into right field. Seen the ball good today. See if he can deliver here with a runner in scoring position.
Bass left one middle to him last time. I doubt he throws one in that same spot again. This one bounces up, gets by Shin. Cornwell will move up to third base and take a hard turn.
Well, forget what I said about the sac fly opportunity. Now the door is wide open for Noah Marcoux. He has more than enough power in this bat to get one deep enough.
And even a ground ball up the middle with just one out. This Beaver defense, I think they're going to play back and concede the run. It doesn't look like maybe Ortega at third and Burke at first. Oh, they're going to put Marcoux on base. Okay. Putting the double play in order here with runners on the corners and one out. So an intentional walk, not the first time for Noah.
I like it though because you're behind in the count 2-1. It's going to be hard to get out of. You set up the double play so you can at least get out of the inning. And we know how good this Beaver defense is. They can turn double plays like nobody's business. Set up Marcoux at first and set up that opportunity.
Ferguson shot one down the first base line. It got past Joe Burke at first for a single. Ben takes a little bit low, just holding up at the last moment.
Ferguson thrives in these opportunities. With runners in scoring position, that's when he does his damage.
The 1-0, high and outside. Hitters count at 2 balls and no strikes.
Big thing here is just get something in the air. You don't want to ground out. Double play would be costly in this situation.
Ferguson, 18 hits with runners in scoring position. He's batting .300 with guys on second and third, and it's now a 3-0 count. Todd Maddox waits on deck. There's Cornwell down at third base, a small lead, should score on anything. And that's a 4-pitch walk from Sam Bass. Very uncharacteristic from what we've seen today. That's the first base on balls that he has thrown today.
Just struggling with control. We talked about it with pitchers, with runners on base, especially at the corners. It can be troubling mentally just to try to find your control, try to find your good balance.
Yeah, we've seen just a few different styles or performances, I guess, in today's outing from Sam Bass with runners on and with the bases empty. He got a huge strikeout to Maddox with 2 outs in the first with runners on the corners. Well, he was able to pitch through a double from Whit Hughes with 2 outs and get a strikeout to end that frame. But now it's his toughest task yet with the bases loaded and 1 out for a guy in Todd Maddox that's been swinging the bat well.
Yeah, I mean, he's no stranger to this type of situation. Now, in those situations, he got the first 2 outs, and then that's when the damage started to happen for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. But 1 out here, ground ball will end the inning for sure if it's the right play. Just needs to find his pitch and deliver.
Maddox is 1 for 5 with the bases loaded. Swings right over top of that breaking pitch that catches the bottom of the zone. I mean, that just fell right off the table, and that's why Todd swung over top.
And that's big to start off this at-bat with a strike. You know, a intentional walk, a 4-pitch walk. You need to find the zone again.
Bass checks the runner down at second base. It's Marcoux. Cornwell at third. Ferguson's over at first base. Nice block from Shin, keeping it in front, leveling the count 1-1.
That's big. Saves the run there. Now, we talk about the big foul ground here at the USPBL, but, I mean, behind the backstop, it's pretty short. So we've seen a lot where it goes right past the catcher and then it bounces right back to them.
Yeah, if it gets any piece of that brick or the green padding, it usually ricochets all the way back to the mound. Here's a ground ball up the middle. This could be 2. Will Coxon touches second to first. It's a double play. Sam Bass is fired up as his shortstop, Ben Will Coxon, makes a beautiful 6-3 double play. Let's take one more look.
This is big for the Beavers defense. We talked, they turn it better than anyone. Will Coxon taking care of it himself. Big. Bass is out of the jam.
Fifth Third out of the ball game, presented by Fifth Third Bank. And with that comes JJ, the field general. He's out there giving our field umpire, Gary Wagenschutz, a little bit of hydration, and he's going to get a treat in return. JJ has been here for years, and he has just been the absolute star of the show here at Jimmy John's Field. Presented by Michigan First Credit Union. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. No score between the Hoppers and Beavers on a Thursday night.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Third inning. We're from downtown Utica. It's back to school night and Thirsty Thursday at the ballpark. From the USPBL Network alongside Jacob Maurer, I'm Tom Cavanaugh, and Pierce Banks has worked through 2 solid innings so far. Just the double from Ray Hilbrick in the second. Other than that, he's been great with 2 strikeouts.
He's been efficient so far, too, getting a lot of 1- and 2-pitch outs. That's going to be big for him. I keep saying it over and over, but he needs to eat up innings for this Eastside Diamond Hopper team. Their bullpen is slim, especially with 4 games in 3 days. He's having a good start so far. We'll see if he can keep it up.
How our ball game is trending at the moment, it looks like runs are very sparse to come by, and it's going to be up to these hitters and both teams to really manufacture runs. It's going to be on manufacturing and putting guys in the right position with less than 2 outs, and also having those clutch swings with 2 outs, or in the case of Todd Maddox, with the bases loaded 1 out, some sort of a clutch hit there. We saw Pablo Ruiz put one fair down the third base line. Wow. Into the corner, Marcoux hauls it in. It's a leadoff double for Ruiz. So as soon as I say both of these teams have to put themselves in a good position to manufacture a run, Ruiz puts a double down the line.
Well, these teams have had a lot of opportunities. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers having runners in scoring position every inning, and the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers having it in the 2nd and now in the 3rd inning. It's just been the pitchers who have been delivering good pitches, but a nice swing by Ruiz. Able to put it right on that line. Get the leadoff double for the Beavers.
Third two-bagger of the year for Pablo. There's a tap fouled on the third baseline for Will Coxon, who went down looking his first time.
Will Coxon does not strike out much.
And when he does, it's at the hands of the best pitchers in the league, a.k.a. Pierce Banks, who's trying to work out of a jam with a runner in scoring position to start his third inning. 0-1 is a line drive to left field. Ruiz is going to be held up at third base. Marcoux came in hard to make the play quickly, and it's first and third. Nobody out after the knock from Ben.
That was a nice job by Marcoux, fielding it cleanly, keeping Ruiz over there at third. Nice rip by Will Coxon. That's what he does. Hits the ball hard and gets on base.
Just the second pitch Will Coxon saw. Mentioned it early in the ball game. Opponents against Banks take one of two approaches to facing him. Either jump on that first good pitch you see, which is what Ben just did, and he's not going to take off for second. Had some happy feet over there at first, thought about it. And the other approach is just to grind through counts, something we saw Blake Bean do last time. I know he ended up striking out, but still a quality at-bat as he saw 8 or 9 pitches.
Whenever you can see 9 pitches in an at-bat, it's always a good at-bat. You can make the pitcher work. It's always effective.
The 1-0, just off the plate, not by much. It's a decent miss there for Banks. 2 balls and no strikes. Ruiz doubled to start the inning. Will Coxon just poked one out to left field for a single. Corners with nobody out. Bean gets a breaking ball and pulls this foul on the first base line.
I think we can see another battle here. Seems like the same exact at-bat as we saw earlier.
Tough to get a pitch by Blake Bean. Struck out on a breaking ball at the top of the zone last time. Banks from the stretch works first base side of the rubber. As he comes set, he's going to pick back towards Will Coxon, who's in standing up. Big base stealing threat over at first base in Ben Wilcoxon. 14 stolen bags. He's been caught twice this season. And there he goes. Hughes' throw down, nowhere close to in time. Coming to the dish is Ruiz. He slides in head first and scores. And the Beavers are on the board first. 1-0 in the bottom of the third inning.
That's a perfect double steal by the Beavers. Will Coxon going over there to second. Ruiz knew it, read it, and goes to home plate. Throw not in time. 1-0 Beavers. Runs huge in this contest.
Because of how good of a jump Will Coxon got there, I know it's a bang-bang play and Hughes is trying to get him, but in hindsight, you probably hold on to that baseball because there was no chance you were throwing out Will Coxon at 2, and you only give Ruiz a chance to score when you do throw down there to second.
It was such a good jump, too. I agree with that.
I mean, I know he was dialed in on going down to second, but peripherally, if you're able to see that by the time you catch the ball behind the dish, that a runner is nearly halfway, 3/4 of the way to the base. With the runner at third base, it's tough to throw down there. Blake Bean swings and pops one up. Shallow left field. Maddox getting called off by Stevenson, who hauls it in. 1 out on the pop out from Bean. 1-0 Beavers on the stolen base from Will Coxon that drew a throw home.
And on that play, Stevenson will always have priority. I know that was in the outfield, so I guess Marcoux did have priority there, but over an infielder, the shortstop always have top priority there, so able to make a better read on that baseball. Maddox called him off, but Stevenson is ultimately the one who decides it, able to make the catch. Huge out number 1 here.
It's a really tough angle for Maddox to make that play because he's got to go 180 degrees behind him and run basically Willie Mays style, while Stevenson is kind of cutting across like an outfielder in the gap. 0-1 to first pitch to Pietrowski, I should say, is a ball.
Yeah, it's just all about who has the better play there, and Stevenson saw it. He knew he had the better play. He knew he could get to that baseball easily. That's why he was able to do it.
1-0 Beavs. We're in the third inning. Looking for win number 15 of the Beavers. As a team, they have been, I mean, incredible. 3-13 to start the season, and they're winners of 7 of their last 10 games and have completely dominated the last couple of weeks.
The big part of it is their offense. Their bats have awoken.
Especially this guy right here. 6 home runs and 18 RBIs for Matt Pietrowski, and he grounds one up the middle. Backhand play from Martin, and he gets to his feet and throws out Pietrowski for out number 2.
That's a fine defensive play there by Bailey Martin. Reaching over and making the plays. You can see right here on our replay system. Able to dive, get up quickly, throw a bullet over there at first.
Unbelievable play. So much range there at second base for Martin. So moving up to third base is Will Coxon. He's 90 feet away from the second run of our ball game with Joe Burke coming to the dish. No runs on 4 hits, no errors for Eastside through 3. 1 run on 3 hits with 0 errors so far for Birmingham through their 3rd inning. Now Burke sends one to center. Rose coming in, has to field it on a bounce. 2-0 Beavers, thanks to Joe Burke picking up an RBI with 2 gone.
Attacking the first pitch, found his pitch and drove it into center field. Thought Zebrus might have a chance at this one, but just too far in front of him. Made the wise play to let it drop and keep Burke over there at first.
Will Coxon did the same thing, jumped on one of the very first pitches that he saw. Burke goes after his inaugural pitch, and it's 2-0 Beavs as Ray Hilbrick will come up as this inning continues.
Pierce Banks, he knows how to throw strikes, and you can attack the first pitch like that and have that result. I mean, you'll do it every time.
Last time out on August 8th, Banks pitched against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. He threw 6 innings, gave up 6 earned on 7 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 6 as well. Ended up getting the loss in that contest, which moved him to 4-4, which is his record at the moment. Strike called on the upper outer corner to Hilbrick, who doubled down the left field line last time.
Hilbrick had a nice at-bat, had that slice the opposite way. We'll see, these Beavers bats have been hot as of late. See if they can keep it going.
Ball a little bit outside, not by much, 1-1. Hilbrick, the 2023 batting champion in the USPBL. He's making a case for it again this year with 33, now 34 total hits. 1-1 is a high tapper to the right side. Martin charging in, underhand grab, flips to first, and that ends the frame, but not before the Beavers strike for 2. Will Coxon swipes a bag that leads to Ruiz scoring from third, and Joe Burke with a line drive to center with 2 outs for an RBI. We go to the 4th inning, 2-0 Beavers over the Hoppers on the USPBL network. We'll be right back.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
Beautiful night for baseball. I know Little Shavers enjoying it for sure on a thirsty Thursday. 2-0 Beavers as the fans have continued to pile in here. A full weekend of baseball, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A full 5-day week, Jacob. And I know tomorrow's your last day at the ballpark. So thankful for everything you've done so far this year. Zeb Rose fouls off the first pitch, but you've directed, executive producer, on graphics, camera as well, and now you're up in the booth in your second to last day. Just want to tip my cap and say thank you for all the work this year.
Yeah, it's been a great season, great working with you, great crew here we have at the USPBL.
We go back to the last inning for these Beavers. Pablo Ruiz Ben Wilcoxon and Joe Burke all swung at one of the first 2 pitches they saw. And here's a base hit for Rose into left field. We'll get back to that in a minute. But a leadoff batter aboard for the second straight inning for Eastside.
Last inning, they could not contribute. Here's Zeb Rose, able to get a nice pitch, able to put it into left, get on first base. It's big to have the leadoff batter aboard. Samuel Bass has pitched outstanding with runners on in today's game, able to get out of a ton of jams. It seems like every inning he's able to deliver that clutch pitch.
He's allowed 4 hits on 5 strikeouts. Rose tries to steal second on the very first pitch. It's a foul ball, so we'll send him back. But back to the original point about the Beavers and their success on the offensive side. We mentioned one of 2 approaches. You either grind through at-bats and work to a 3-2 count and make Pierce Banks throw a ton of pitches. They are going with the alternative route of jumping on the first pitch or the second pitch that they've seen. Ruiz, Wilcoxon, and Burke all going after one of the first they saw, and it led to success.
And it's risky because you want to beat up Pierce Banks enough. Even if he throws 9 pitches to you and you strike out, you get his pitch count high, and you get into that Eastside Diamond Hopper bullpen that we know does not have a lot of depth in this game. But if you attack the first pitch and you're able to get hits like the Beavers have, you score 2 runs.
Matt Gehrig flies one out to left field, fairly deep. Bean ranges to his left a few steps, makes the catch for out number 1.
Pounded just missed a little bit by Gehrig. Has a lot of power in that bat. Stays in the ballpark, though, for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th.
Here's a guy that gave it a ride last time. Whit Hughes nearly hit a home run to straightaway center field. One hopped the wall over the head of Chase Rodriguez. Rose will take off for second. Shin's going to throw down. Not in time. Zeb Rose picks up another stolen base. That's number 17 on the year. He's been yet to be caught. I mean, just an automatic base stealer over there.
And you're going to see the jump that he gets here. He was already halfway before that pitch even got there. And he's so fast, too. Plays center field for these Eastside Diamond Hopper team. Has the speed, and that's why he's stolen so many bases this season.
Hughes grounds one to shortstop. Wilcoxon fakes the throw to third. A cross body to first is picked by Burke. 2 gone as the runner, Rose, moves up to third base.
Such good defense all around, especially in the infield for this Beaver team. Wilcoxon, nice play, throwing a little leather out there. Fake to third, as you're going to see on this replay. Able to field it cleanly. Fake over to third, throws over to first. A bullet picked out of the ground by Burke. Fantastic play for out number 2 here.
First pitch to Bailey Martin is a called strike. And you got to give credit to Zeb Rose, because traditionally, as a runner on second base, without a runner at first and a force out, if you're on second base and there's a ground ball to your right side, you're supposed to stay put. Rose, he had an amazing jump. As soon as the ball was hit, he knew it was to his right side, but because of his speed, he was able to get close to third in time so that Ben Wilcoxon at shortstop didn't attempt the throw to third. His only option was go to first.
And really, Wilcoxon had a play there. It's just Ortega unable to catch up to third base, and it's not Ortega's fault. It's just how speedy Zeb Rose is.
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Bailey Martin. He struck out swinging to end the second inning, trying to avoid doing that again with a runner at third base, trailing by 2. Hoppers also out hitting the Beavers currently. Cracked bat up the middle, softly caught by Wilcoxon for out number 3. A broken bat from Martin with nothing to show for it ends the frame and strands another runner in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Beavers on top of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. This is your home for USPBL baseball.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Everyone has something that motivates them to do better. And for me, that's my daughter Shelby. I named Shelby Construction Services after her as a reminder to always run the company in a way that would make her proud. Our goal isn't just to get the job done, but to get it done right. And that means making sure every customer has a 5-star experience. I think how a company treats you is just as important as the finished product. My daughter wouldn't have it any other way.
Call 833-6-SHELBY. That's 833-6-SHELBY.
How's it going? Bottom of the 4th inning, alongside Jacob Maurer, Tom Cavanaugh. Pierce Banks will toe the slab one more time here for the Hoppers. No movement in either bullpen currently. We know that because of the limited bullpen for Eastside, Banks is going to be tasked with at least 2 more innings of work. He was roughed up in the 3rd, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits.
The Beavers attacked him early. Not so much damage on the pitch count, just a lot of damage on the hit column for Pierce Banks.
As we mentioned last half inning, these Beaver hitters jumping on one of the first few pitches as Ortega goes for gold on the first pitch he sees. 91-mile-an-hour fastball down the heart of the plate.
And trying to follow that same formula that the batters before him have done. Big swing there.
It's been working. Joe Burke with a clutch 2-out RBI made it 2-0. Ben Wilcoxon, who stole second earlier in the inning, led to Ruiz scoring from third. Beavers are playing a good brand of baseball, and Sam Bass has helped them out on the mound as well with 5 strikeouts through 4 innings. Tipped into the glove. Ortega just missed it, 1-2.
Home run derby champ trying to put another homer on that board. Big swings here early by Ortega.
I mean, he impressed the heck out of me during that home run derby. He hit, I think, 11 or 12 in a row. Just every swing was gone every single time. Bombs to left field. And we've seen Ortega also this season in a live game hit an opposite field home run, so he can spray it.
A lot of power will go a long way in this league.
2-2, swing and a miss as he's down to a knee. Pierce Banks dices up one of the better hitters in the U.S. PBL for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
That's huge for Pierce. After the rough inning, the last inning, able to get a strikeout on the first batter. We know last inning, the first 2 batters reached the board with 2 hits. So to get a strikeout to start it off, you can get your momentum back and have a good inning here.
And one thing Pierce does a really good job of is when he does have a rough inning, the very next or the next few, he's able to put up zeros and kind of limit the damage. We've seen outings or box scores from Banks where he'll allow 6-7 hits, but he'll only give up 2 earned runs, two runs entirely through his outing because he has 1 bad frame, and then in other innings he's able to dominate.
Well, you mentioned it about Eastside. Really, as a team, they don't have 9 bad innings. They usually have 1 inning that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, and then they're able to have a good, productive rest of the game. So for Pierce, just able to lock in, get to throwing strikes. I know he's behind 2-0 here on Rodriguez.
Walk last time for Chase. He's now up in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. And a good example of 1 bad inning was last night in the 6th. 4 straight base hits to start the inning for the Mammoths led to a 4-run frame, and that was the difference in the game. 5-1 was the final. The 3-0 was a called strike at the letters.
Especially with the Diamond Hopper offense, how they've been struggling as of late. You want to keep this game as close as you can. At least know that you have a fighting chance.
Banks kicks and fires. The 3-1 is in the dirt. A 1-out walk here to Rodriguez. He's aboard for the 2nd time via the free pass.
I wouldn't complain if I was Pierce Banks. Rodriguez is a dangerous hitter. As long as you can keep him on first and not have the damage be over the wall and right.
A little bit of stretching currently in that Eastside bullpen. And we'll get into the scheduled relievers for Eastside, but we don't want to spoil anything. Pick over to first base. Rodriguez back dirty, but Ryan Carolden, He's scheduled to throw about an inning today, essentially a live bullpen outing for Ryan. He is likely going to make the start on Sunday, but just want to keep the arm fresh, throw him for one frame, get loose, and then have 2 days off tomorrow and Saturday, and then pitch again on Sunday. We might also see Delmas Russ as well.
That talks about the volume of this bullpen. If you need a starter to use his bullpen session just to get through some innings, it's big for Eastside and even bigger on Pierce Banks. He has a lot on his plate today.
Banks has had a base runner in every inning but the first. He sat down the Beavers 1-2-3 with a pair of strikeouts to start his day. Since then, he's allowed at least one runner aboard every frame. Tyler Shin has a 2-0 count, make it 3-0.
This is back-to-back at-bats where Pierce Banks is unable to find the zone. Start off the inning great with a strikeout just on 4 pitches. Needs to find that rhythm back.
Banks looking for a strike. The 3-0 grabs the corner. Tyler Shin showed a little bit of pop in his bat the other day. His debut with the Beavers, he went deep. Did not have a home run through 2.5 months with the Utica Unicorns, and then in his first game actually playing against the Unicorns, he hit one out. That's a check swing foul ball. The count goes full.
And I would say new change of scenery, but it's the same ballpark. Just different jersey on, but that can have effects.
100%.
Look good, play good. Maybe he likes the Beavers jerseys a little bit better like you, Tom, with those pinstripes.
I mean, he got a fastball high and inside and just turned on it. We're really happy to see Tyler. We see him around the ballpark every day. He's part of the grounds crew with Connor Tomasic on his days off. Just does so much to keep this field healthy and playable every single day throughout the season. He's going to line one to right field. Another swing for Shin. It's down for a hit, and it's 2 aboard with 1 out. The catcher for Birmingham goes Oppo Taco.
Little Oppo Taco there on this Thursday. They always say Taco Tuesday, but it's Taco Thursday. Oppo Taco Thursday for Tyler Shin. So you mentioned he keeps track of those grounds, able to put it right on that beautiful field. Great hit going Oppo. Any way you can get on base against Pierce Banks. And now back-to-back innings, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers have strung together a couple of batters, good at-bats, to get on base and get in scoring position.
Banks has just eclipsed 60 pitches. Likely to have 20 to 25 more in the tank, maybe more. Breaking ball called strike. Top of the zone to Pablo Ruiz, who laced a double down the third base line last inning. Banks looks down at second base. Rodriguez was hopping off the bag. Here's Ruiz sending one back to the screen, 0-2 quickly.
And Rodriguez was off by quite a bit. Bailey Martin was pointing over to second base saying we can pick him off here, but a little bit too late of a reaction from Banks. Still able to keep runners at first and second. Just trying to focus at the at-bat here against Ruiz.
A lot of speed down there at second, and Rodriguez, a base hit should score him with every outfielder for Eastside fairly deep. Ruiz with a double last time. 17th hit of the season. He's got 10 RBIs through his time. Chases way high with a fastball. A 1-2-3 strikeout for out number 2.
And that was more than a couple inches up. Pierce Banks going with that high fastball.
That was near the head. A little bit of a riser out of the hand of Banks. Make that 4 strikeouts now for Pierce. He had 2 in the first and now 2 here in the fourth. Wilcoxon with a single, a stolen base, and scored a run last inning to put the Beavers on the board. Man out of Lexington, Kentucky, attended Kentucky Wesleyan for his college days of baseball. Sporting the hometown area code batting average. Shout out the 248. I know it's 586 out here, but as a Rochester guy, I gotta talk about it.
Reminds you of the phone number, I guess.
Yes, sir. Fly ball right field, coming over hard and unable to track it down as Cornwell as this falls into the bullpen on a bounce.
Wilcoxon, we talked about it earlier, does such a great job getting contact to all these pitches. Had a great single last time up.
Yeah, Banks really has to execute perfectly to get some of these hitters out. A guy in Ben Wilcoxon, a guy like Blake Bean, you really have to show your best stuff to try to find a strike three swing and miss. Here's the 1-1. On the outside corner. Nick Kibitsky, the home plate umpire, up with the right hand, makes it 1-2.
And a great couple of pitches here by Pierce Banks. Really, he's kind of lost his location, now has found it back. See if he can get out of this jam.
Rodriguez down at second base, he walked. Shin at first, he singled to right field. 2-0 Beavers. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Banks a couple of looks down at second base, the 1-2. There's a line drive over the head of Stevenson into left center field. Rounding third and scoring is Rodriguez. Ben Wilcoxon makes it 3-0 with a poke on the left side of the field.
That's what he does. Finds his pitch and delivers. Again into left field for Ben Wilcoxon. Just so good at making contact, especially against Pierce Banks.
10th RBI of the season for Wilcoxon as well.
Able to get his pitch and drive it into left field. Big insurance run for the Beavers.
He didn't hit it all that hard. Just 75 miles an hour off the bat, but it's just enough to score the run. Here's Bean, 0 for 2 to start the day. Strikeout and a pop out to shortstop.
But Bean has had some good at-bats so far against Pierce Banks. 9 pitches in his first at-bat. Even though he struck out, it's really been a big reason why Pierce Banks is sitting at 68 pitches.
Huge swing and a miss, 0-2. Went down and chased a little bit below the zone. Beavers with 6 hits now against Banks on 3 total runs. Here's the 0-2. Outside, good stop from Hughes. Now it's up to 70 pitches for Banks. He could go one more inning.
Feel like you need him to go 6 in this game.
I agree with that.
So this is a big at-bat here.
1-2 to Blake. Fouled back over the stadium seating just behind us.
It doesn't help that he's going up against Blake Bean. He really knows how to battle in at-bats. Fouls one off there. I would not be surprised if we saw a couple more pitches here.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Oh, it's a foul ball. Hughes trying to beg his case. Banks can't believe it. How did Bain get a piece of this?
And it just hits the ground. Thought it was a foul tip into the glove. Hughes thought it was too.
Yeah.
He's showing proof that he caught it.
It's a good sell there from Hughes, just did not get the call. Bean stays alive on a ball and 2 strikes. Banks checks the runner, now goes. Check swing, foul ball, and boy, if not in today's game, but all year long, Blake Bean might lead the league in foul balls with 2 strikes.
He's doing a great job battling. We saw this in all 3 of his at-bats today. He will not go down easy.
Heck of a ball player. Here's the 1-2 again. Blocked up by Hughes. This time, Bean did not bite. 2-2 the count. Taking a look at these standings, the 3rd place Eastside Diamond Hoppers are 2 games back of first place, a game and a half back of the Unicorns for 2nd. And these Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, if they are able to pick up a win today, they'll move to just 4.5 back of Eastside for 3rd place. And it's very likely, almost impossible for these Beavers to move up to the 2 seed or even take 1st place. So they're really trying to go for home field advantage in that quarterfinal game between the 3 and the 4 seed.
Yeah, and that could be huge, especially in a 1-game elimination. You want all the advantages you can get. It's just last season that the 4 seed won the whole thing.
The 3-2 to Bean is skied in the air. Right field, Cornwell camping underneath, makes the catch, and the inning is over. RBI base hit from Ben Wilcoxon, tacks on another run. 3-0 Beavers after 4 full frames. This is your home for USPBL baseball. We'll be back for the 5th inning of action.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Everyone has something that motivates them to do better. And for me, that's my daughter Shelby. I named Shelby Construction Services after her as a reminder to always run the company in a way that would make her proud. Our goal isn't just to get the job done, but to get it done right. And that means making sure every customer has a 5-star experience. I think how a company treats you is just as important as the finished product. My daughter wouldn't have it any other way.
Call 833-6-SHELBY. That's 833-6-SHELBY.
Colin Cornwell is going to get us started once again for the third time today. He led off in the first third and now the fifth, trailing by 3 runs. The Hoppers need a big frame. We're still in the middle stages of this ball game. They have time, but got to continue to, or got to find a way really to cash in those runs. Looking at the stats through 4 innings, Jacob, 6 runners left on base, 5 of those in scoring position.
And Tom, every single inning they've had a chance. Every single inning they've had a runner in scoring position, but give credit to Sam Bass. He's been able to pitch out of those jams, been pumped up a couple of times using the defense behind him. Eastside's able to get on base and able to put pressure on Sam Bass. We'll see if that pressure can finally break in this inning.
5 strikeouts for Sam Bass through 4 innings. He worked out of a bases-loaded jam back in the third, rolling a ground ball from Todd Maddox. And then after Zeb Rose got to third base with less than 2 outs, he got a ground out and a line out from Martin to get it out of another jam with another runner in scoring position. Colin Cornwell takes ball 1.
No better way to start the inning if you're the Eastside Diamond Hoppers than if you have Colin Cornwell at the plate.
Foul to the screen, 1-1. Cornwell led off the third with a single. Got to second on a wild pitch, did not score. A little bit of movement as Andrew Verbrugge has moved out to the Beaver bullpen down the left field line. He is going to be next to pitch. Also expect Brett Irwin for the Beavers today. Cornwell puts it up into the twilight sky. It's a long run for Ruiz. Coming in hard, he's going to call off Pietrowski, and there's 1 up and 1 down in the 5th inning.
Ruiz had a late jump on that one, but able to make up the ground nicely. Hard to see it, especially twilight time in the lights. Able to locate that ball and able to make a fine catch.
We've seen Pablo show off his speed on the base paths and in the field. Back on Thursday in their 10-5 loss, or sorry, back last week on Sunday in their 10-5 loss, Ruiz ran about 90 feet in left field all the way down into the corner to snag a baseball. He also stole 2 bases in that game. So seeing him be able to charge in hard and make that catch, not surprised, even though he had kind of a funky jump to start.
Yeah, great speed there, great closing speed as well.
Another fly ball. This one out to Rose in center. In a few steps, makes the catch. 2 gone. Sam Bass, a couple of balls in the air to start his 5th inning.
Rodriguez a little bit rocky on that one, but able to get under it nicely. Stumbles a little bit, but able to make the catch for out number 2 here in the top of the 5th.
As you mentioned, Rodriguez in center field. Zeb Rose plays for the Diamond Hoppers. Noah Marcoux is 1 for 1 with an intentional walk. Pulls the first pitch on the ground to second. Gobbled up by Pietrowski. Throw to first. And a quick 1-2-3 inning. The first time Sam Bass has set down the Hoppers in order. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still 3-0 Beavers alongside Jacob Maurer, Tom Cavanaugh from the USPBL Network.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be. Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
You know, they say, losing hope, that's the real disaster. Last year, Tropical Storm Fred sent a devastating wall of water and debris down this river. And when the waters receded, Belfour was here. Not just to rebuild, but to help restore the life of this community. Belfour, restoring more than property.
Andy Appleby.
As we enter the bottom of the 5th inning, it's been all Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. They have a 3-0 lead over Eastside currently. Birmingham trying to get their 15th win of the year, and Eastside got them out to comeback, trailing by 3, trying to get win number 20. Pierce Banks, he has given up runs in the last 2 innings, and it's not because of the base on balls. His control has been fine. It's been more on the hits.
Yeah, I mean, give credit to Birmingham Bloomfield, able to find their pitch. They're hitting the ball really well tonight, and they're seeing it even better. For Pierce Banks, it's going to be huge for him to keep this to a 3-run ball game. Has had no support so far from his offense. A lot of hits for Eastside, but none of them able to be cashed in, so he has to keep this at a 3-run game, give his team a chance, and especially have an effective inning here. I know Eastside wants him to go at least 6 in this game. It's going to be a big 5th inning for Banks.
He'll see Matt Piotrowski, Joe Burke, and Ray Hilbrick, the meat and potatoes of this Beaver lineup. Piotrowski, 6 homers on the year with 18 ribbies, 37 total hits, leads the league. My goodness. Breaking pitch for strike 1, starts out Piotrowski. He grounded out to second base his last time, also flied out to left.
But you look at that average for Piotrowski, he's due. One of the best hitters in this league.
Banks misses a tad bit low. Just some light throwing now in both bullpens. It's for Brugge over with the Beavers and Carolden for the Hops. Approaching 80 pitches is Pierce. Breaking pitch again, misses a little bit upstairs. Nice take from Piotrowski. That did not miss by much.
Piotrowski has a great eye for the baseball. That's why his batting average is so high.
Matt coming from Lancaster, California. As he fouls one back to the screen.
And again, if you're able to battle against Pierce Banks, get his pitch count up, it's another win for the Beavers. Pierce needs to be efficient here.
Piotrowski played at Loyola Marymount and then at Cal State Los Angeles for the Golden Eagles as he lines one over the glove of Bailey Martin into right center field. Hit number 38 on the season for Big Matt.
He was due, and he got his pitch. Shot it the opposite way. Bailey Martin almost having a chance on this one. If he was maybe Cohen Carr of Michigan State, having that vertical leap, he might have had a chance. Gave it all he had. Still great play by Piotrowski, and a big leadoff batter.
Xavier
big leadoff
Booker
runner.
wouldn't have had to jump. He just put the hand up.
Right? If only Bailey Martin was 7 foot tall.
Or Frankie Fiddler. Excited to see him this year in his first year with the Spartans. Tom Izzo's going to have a good group. Here's the 0-1 outside. Joe Burke with a clutch 2-out swing his last time up to drive in the second run of the ball game.
And he attacked the first pitch too. This at bat letting the first 2 pitches go by.
A little bit late there, fouls it right back to the screen, 1-2. Burke has been in the league for several years. He started this season as a coach, assistant coach for head coach John Dombrowski, and then moved into a player role. He's a 3-year veteran, and he also played college baseball with Ben Wilcoxon over at Kentucky Wesleyan. The 1-2. Way outside, nice snag from Hughes.
It's interesting in this league because a lot of players with the day off, or at least bullpen players with the day off, will coach, be first and third base coaches. So coaches can play too. Good to see Joe Burke back on the field.
Burke led the league with 8 home runs last season. The high for this year right now is 7. Marcoux and Colby Seltzer of the Mammoths have that number.
And with just under a month to go, you can easily see that record being shattered.
I agree.
We've seen a lot of good power in this league, especially this season.
And Florentino was another guy. He's been injured for the last couple of weeks, but he could have gotten there. Burke sends one out to center field. A couple of steps back this time for Zeb Rose, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
Maybe with more wind towards the outfield, that could have had a chance, but Zebros able to play it nicely just before the warning track. It'll make a fine play. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. And for Pierce, at 87, it is be important for him to get out of this inning. Maybe get a double play ball here.
It was about this time last night at this stage in the ball game where John Kelly, the starter for Eastside, was nearing 100 pitches. He dipped into the 6th inning, throwing 109 total pitches, and then was taken out after a leadoff base hit from Nick Pastor. But he had a great outing and kept his team in the ball game. Only 2 runs against him. Hilbrick swings and misses at a fastball, 1-1 is the count.
And it was very cool to see because you know his arm was hurting, especially at 109 pitches, but Eastside needed him. They needed him out there to get their bullpen ready and warmed up. He delivered. He was really a soldier out there yesterday.
Banks misses a little bit high. 2 balls and 1 strike on your screen there. Looks to be Ryan Carolden getting warm. He would be the next in. Carolden, a scheduled starter. Just getting a little bit of time. Going to throw about 30 pitches today. Hilbrick pops it up on the infield. Stevenson, the shortstop, calling for it in the middle of the diamond and makes the catch. 2 gone with a runner at first base.
Again for Pierce, another out. You'll take it. Now sitting at 91 pitches. It's going to be a back and forth game. We're going to watch that pitch count climb. We'll see if Pierce can be effective here.
And we needed to monitor it a little bit more for Eastside just because of what we saw yesterday with letting Kelly go so long and with limited bullpen arms. I'm always interested to see how coaches are able to handle and manage their starter along with the bullpen when it comes to how many innings, pitches, and just based on overall feel of the ball game and how the pitcher on the mound is feeling in their health.
Especially, too, you get starters having to go for bullpen sessions, maybe even one more bullpen player. You might even go to position players. It's all a variety of how you try to figure out this game.
Ortega struck out swinging his last time. Had 3 big hacks at a fastball and a couple of breaking pitches. 1-0, not close, high and outside.
Ortega had some big swings in his last at-bat, trying to put this ball deep. We'll see what he does here with a runner on first and 2 outs.
Banks misses just a little bit low. That one was borderline on the bottom rung. 3-0. Over at first base is Matt Piotrowski. He led off the inning with a single. That's Andrew Verbrugge on your screen. Also Ranko Stefanovic, who has the day off behind the dish. Strike called. Got to battle back here.
For Pierce now, watching that pitch count climb, I think this might be his final inning. Just trying to finish it off strong. Make sure you keep this game at a 3-0 game.
The 3-1 does not catch the zone. Looked great, but it's ball 4. 2 on with 2 out for Chase Rodriguez.
Dangerous hitter coming up.
Right after you mentioned last inning, I thought potentially if he walked Ortega, it would be his last batter. That is not the case. Banks will likely get to 100 pitches. It'll be the second time in as many days that a Hopper pitcher will eclipse that number.
And I think Banks himself wants to go 5. It looks a lot prettier than 4 2/3.
Big swing and a miss from Rodriguez, helping him out.
It's going to be hard here against Rodriguez. Walked in his first 2 at-bats. Great average, has a lot of power in this bat. Dangerous, pretty swing. See what Pierce can do here.
Another area code average at a 3-1-3. Breaking ball called strike 2 at the knees on the inside corner. A couple of walks today for Rodriguez. Has not had to see many pitches in the zone. Banks looking to get out of the jam with 2 on in the 5th. He delivers, swing and a miss. Rodriguez goes down on an off-speed down and away. Pierce Banks strands a pair. We've played 5 innings and it's 3-0 Beavers. That's going to be the end of the day likely for Pierce Banks, but he limited the damage. This is your home for USPBL baseball. We'll be back for the 6th inning.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Hoppers looking for a little bit of offense as our sun has set the lights turn on here at Jimmy John's Field in downtown Utica. Beautiful night for baseball. Alongside Jacob Maurer, Tom Cavanaugh on tap for all 9 today. It's back to school day, presented by Congressman John James. And the Hoppers need an answer. Have not been able to figure out Sam Bass, who just sat down the top 3 hitters, 1, 2, 3 in the 5th.
And Sam Bass looked really good in that 5th inning. He had some trouble stretches through the first 4, but that 5th inning he cruised. We'll see if he can keep it up here.
4, 5, 6 batters. It's Ferguson, Maddox, and Rose. 2 runs in the 3rd, 1 more in the 4th inning for Birmingham. That has gotten them to a 3-0 advantage a little over halfway through our ball game.
And I guess on the opposite side of the coin, Sam Bass only sitting at 77 pitches. Will be interesting to see how far he goes. Beavers bullpen a little bit more rested than Eastside. So I guess they don't need him to reach the century mark like Pierce Banks. But still, a 6th inning of work could do a lot of wonders.
Strike 1 called at the knees. Besides maybe 1 wild pitch, Sam Bass has commanded the zone perfectly today. There's strike 2 on a backdoor breaking ball.
You saw it there, just perfect pitch right on the inside.
Bass holds that glove over top of the chin as he drops it through the windup. The 2-2's on the way. Swing and a miss. Ferguson goes down. That's strikeout number 6 for Sam Bass today.
He's cruising. Taking that momentum from the 5th. And 4 pitches. Nasty work.
He's right back locked in. Back when Ben Joyce was pitching for Tennessee, he would do the same thing. Stand on the mound, ready to go before the batter collected himself into the box. And that's how you stay dialed in. Swing and a miss from Maddox. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
We talked about earlier how efficient he has been. He works quickly.
Time called at the plate from Maddox. Oh no, it's a pitch clock violation. 0-2 to Maddox now. So the rule is, as the pitch clock has been enacted from minor league and Major League Baseball, the batter needs to be engaged with the pitcher with 8 seconds to go in the ticker. If he is still have his head down, adjusting the gloves, talking with the catcher, whatever it is, if you're not locked in on the pitcher to engage that battle, you get called for the pitch clock violation.
And the USPBL has been very strict on that rule. We've seen that a couple of times this season.
He fishes at a ball in the dirt. Strike 3 as it's completed by Shin to Burke. That's 7 now for Sam. Wow.
And he's working quickly. I think that's what kind of threw Maddox off. He just wanted kind of a breather. You have that pitch clock violation, and then Sam Bass keeps throwing it at you.
And he's working fast, especially, you mentioned this earlier, Jacob, when there's nobody on base, Sam works very quickly through his windup, through his at-bats.
Especially with nobody on base, he has all the momentum. He's had good location so far. Not on that pitch to Zebros, but
a little chin music high and inside. That pitch did not show up on our TrackMan. At the knees, 1-1. Rose had a single his last time, stole second, was stranded at third. That was back in the 4th inning. He also lined one back to Bass, who made a snazzy catch. 2-1 the count.
Rose is a great guy to have on because he can steal bases, and he really got in Sam Bass's head there. Sam Bass able to get that huge out to get out of that inning.
3-1, hitters count for Zeb. 2 gone, nobody aboard. They're looking to start a rally. 8 straight retired for Sam Bass. Trying to make it 9 right here. He will not. It's a walk on a 3-1 high end inside. So a base runner, and it's a high base stealing threat in Rose. So if he's able to swipe quickly here on Gehrig, I like Matt taking a pitch or two, letting Rose try to get down to second base on a good jump, and then Matt can hit him in.
Yeah, first base runner for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers since the 4th. So Sam Bass, this is a little bit of foreign territory. Haven't dealt with this in a while. Now you'll see how he works. Going to be a little bit slowed with Zeb Rose over there at first.
And with that last base runner, sorry to cut you off, that last base runner was Zeb Rose back in the 4th inning. So, I mean, it's gone through an entire time through the lineup without one. Little talking to between Nick Caruso and Sam Bass. Rose likely will take off. Yes, he does. Half swing from Gehrig. It's 0-1. Rose will go down without a throw as that was in the dirt.
And nobody better to have on than Zeb Rose. Steals bases like the best of them. 18th of the season right there.
I mean, that's a guy that he could wave his hand and say, hey, Sam Bass, I'm about to steal second base. And he would still come in safely at 2 because of how good of a jump he gets and how quick he moves from baseline to baseline.
Yeah, he's just so fast, able to extend that 90 feet so quickly. Not even a chance for Shin.
Gehrig in an 0-2 hole. Bass, 7 total strikeouts, looking for number 8. Rose going to take off for third. It doesn't matter. Sam Bass strikes out the side in the 6th inning. He's pumped up coming off the bump. 8 Ks for the righty. We're going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and another runner stranded in scoring position for Eastside. 3-0 Beavers on the USPBL network. This was good stuff.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
Bottom of the 6th inning and a 3-0 lead for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, and we will see a new man on the mound for Eastside. It's Ryan Carolden. In a live bullpen, he's going to throw about 30 to 35 pitches and warm himself up for a start on Sunday. He's tasked with putting up a 0 against this Beaver team that has had success against Banks in those last 3 innings.
Ryan Carolden having to go against a tough lineup in Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. They were able to beat up Banks quite a bit, scoring 3 runs on Pierce. For Carolden, this is just a bullpen session, but they need him to use it to get some innings out of the way. We talked about Eastside playing so many games in so few days. It's going to be big for him. Having about a limit of 30 pitches we'll see if he can try to get through at least 1 and maybe 2 innings.
Pierce Banks finished the day 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. He walked 2 and struck out 5. It was really those 3rd and 4th innings where the Beavers jumped on Pierce on one of the first couple of pitches that he threw. It was either the first pitch or the second, and Wilcoxon, Burke, Ruiz all came through with big swings.
Yeah, and that was big for the Beavers. They're just keeping up their offensive momentum that they've built through this big stretch that they have had. 7 wins in 10 games, all because really of their offense and their great defense, and we've seen both tonight.
Tyler Shin will get us started as the dueling pianos play out in right center field. It's a jam-packed night of promotional events. Back to school, Thirsty Thursday, John James in the house, dueling pianos. Strike 1 called to Shin. 8-9-1 hitters due up in the 6th.
That's so cool, Tom, because you introduced me to that earlier in this day. I didn't know they had anything such as a dueling piano.
That ball's in the dirt. Yeah, I mean, I've only seen it once. I was in Chicago with a few buddies, and we saw 2 pianos kind of facing each other, and they were taking Venmo recommendations. So you could pay about $5 to $10, whatever it was. And, I mean, they were very talented, considering they could play whatever you requested. And it was a lot of fun. Shin skies one in the air, shallow left field. Coming out is Stevenson. He will call off Marcoux at the last second. That's 1 out.
That's big for Carolden. We talk about Pierce Banks' pitch count, but also Carolden, he's limited. He's going to start probably on Sunday for Eastside. So you want to have few pitches, get through a couple of innings, and give your bullpen a little bit of an easier burden to handle.
Yeah, if he gets through this inning quickly, we might see him back in the 7th. Maybe not. You never really know. Also in the bullpen, Delmas Russ. He's not currently in the bullpen, but could potentially throw. Ruiz skies the first pitch he sees to center field. Rose back a few steps. 2 up, 2 down on a pair of pop-ups.
Big 1 pitch, 1 out. Already 2 outs here for Carolden. If he's able to get an effective out here for another 1-2-3 inning, he can come out there for the 7th.
Carolden loves that 4-seam fastball. That's what he's going to throw most of the time. Also will incorporate a curveball slider and a little bit of a knuckleball. Almost touching 90 with that fastball at 89 to Ben Wilcoxon. 2 for 3 day for Ben. Runs scored and an RBI.
Yeah, Ben's been seeing the ball really good in today's game. 2 hits, 1 hard hit, 1 just popped it in the perfect spot. Really knows where he's going with the baseball, can hit it anywhere in the field. That's why he's leading off.
2-0 from Ryan is high. Carolden played 4 years at Wayne State, hometown of Yale, Michigan. 3-0 catches the zone to keep the count going. Tomorrow night we will see the Mammoths and Unicorns at 7:05. Here's a ground ball to third, bobbled by Maddox. Guns across the field for out number 3. A clean, quick 10-pitch inning for reliever Ryan Carolden in the 6th inning. We go to the 7th. It's still 3-0 Beavers. They're looking for more here on the USPBL Network.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, we've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because
You guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
You know what's brilliant?
As we enter the 7th inning of action, it is Andrew Verbrugge taking over for Sam Bass. And before we touch on Andrew's numbers, how about the outing for Sam Bass? 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts.
It's unbelievable. Just unbelievable, especially towards the back end of that outing. 5th and the 6th inning, he was rolling. Able to pick out a lot of strikeouts in those frames, really limit the damage and coast through it. Worry-free.
He struck out 4 of the first 9 hitters that he faced and then followed or ended that with striking out the side in the 6th inning. But let's dive in real quick on Andrew. Hey, he's been a guy that's pitched a ton this year for the Beavers. 22nd outing of the season. This is his 20th in relief. 32 innings of work, 40 strikeouts compared to 30 walks. He's also given up 32 hits in those 32 innings. So averaging about a hit an inning. I think he would like that walk rate to be down a little bit, considering there's 30 and 32 frames, but also 40 strikeouts. So when we see Verbrugge, at times he can lose control, but other times he's filthy.
Yeah, and you mentioned the walkout or the strikeout to walk ratio. 40 strikeouts in 32 innings pitched is pretty dang good, but 30 walks in 32 innings pitched, that could be a little worrisome. So I guess what we see from him is not a lot of balls leave past home plate.
The league is hitting .267 against Verbrugge so far this season. Here's Whit Hughes to start us off. Jam shot, fouls it to the screen, 1-2. After Hughes, it'll be Bailey Martin. Hughes 1 for 2 with a double and a ground out. Verbrugge a curveball, four-seam fastball, a changeup, and a slider. Here's a pop-up in foul territory at first. Caught by Burke, 1 gone.
Routine play there. Whit Hughes just getting a little bit too much under it. Goes in foul territory, but not by much. Joe Burke just taking a couple of steps to his left. Here for out number 1 here in the top of the 7th.
I told him pregame, it's my favorite walk-up song, Bob Deep from Bailey Martin, as he steps in with 1 gone. It's an 8-mile classic. That's ball 1 to Bailey.
And he was talking to us earlier prior to the game, talking about his M&M roots, how he wanted to pick something close to home.
Cut and a miss. Just trying to appease the fans a little bit.
Also for Bailey, changing his number to 19.
That's true. There was a wardrobe malfunction before today's ball game as he ropes one to third under the glove of Ortega. He pulled up a little bit early. Martin's going to touch first, head on to second base. A little bit of life here for the Hoppers with a man on and a man out.
They say lucky number 7, but what about lucky number 19? Bailey Martin getting his first hit under the 19 uniform. Able to pull that down the left field line perfectly. Just gets past the glove of Christian Ortega. And now finally the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have a runner in scoring position. I know they did last inning, but now you only have it with 1 out. We'll see if Eastside can finally get some runs across the board.
They've been real quiet since the 4th, though, Jacob. I mean, you look at the 5th, they were sat down 1, 2, 3. In the 6th, Sam Bass struck out the side. He only had 1 base runner, which was Rose on a walk. So a big swing right there to get a man in scoring position with less than 2 outs is a big deal.
Especially for Eastside, you turn to the top of your batting order. That's where your most damage comes from. Especially with a guy like Colin Cornwell, you have to like your odds here.
There's the 1-0 from Verbrugge. Beautiful slider, sets in for a strike. That ball moved a ton.
That was a great pitch.
Cornwell's had some success today, opposite field base hit. (1-1) nearly hits him as he juts out of the way. 2 balls and 1 strike to Colin. His first couple of weeks in the league, he came on late. Just 13 total games played. The most by a Hopper is Ferguson with 35. Blocked up by the new catcher, Ranko Stefanovic. Ronco makes the defensive change this inning for Tyler Shin. And head coach Diesel Dombrowski will do that from time to time, especially with his third baseman, with Ortega and Coludas, and the catchers, Shin and Ronco.
I was going to say, we've seen that before where Ronco has come into the middle of the game just to catch, give his catchers a little bit more break and really save their knees.
Off day tomorrow for the Beavers. They'll be back here on Saturday. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Cornwell goes down for out number 2 on strikes.
15 inches of horizontal break, 16 of vertical. It's a nasty pitch with a lot of movement. Great pitch by Andrew Verbrugge.
That was sweet, because that pitch starts middle, and to Cornwell, it looks like a beach ball. I mean, that ball was a frisbee. Starts up near the letters, and then by the time Colin's ready to pull the trigger and he's swung around, it ends up at his feet.
It just dives down right at the last second. That late movement is what sells it. Perfect pitch.
And really the only way you can avoid striking out on that pitch is trying to recognize the spin earlier, but it had late break, so it's tough to do. Swing and a miss from Stevenson. He's down in a hole, 0-2. A pair of strikeouts and a fly out today for Grant.
And going back to that spin rate point, especially as the lights get darker and I guess the field lights are turned on, it's harder to read the spin on that ball, so it's really becomes more unpredictable as the game moves along.
It's a great point. Wind starting to pick up, moving right to left across the diamond. Here's the 0-2 in the dirt. Bailey Martin doubled. He stands down at second base with 2 gone. Hoppers still scoreless. Here's a pulled ground ball fouled on the third base line. More movement in the bullpen for the Beavers. We'll see if Verbrugge is tasked with the 8th, or if they dip into the pen one more time. The 1-2 is in the dirt. If the Beavers pick up a win today, they'll be 5 games back of first. They will be 3 games back of third place. 2-2, strike 3 called. Andrew Verbrugge strikes out back-to-back hitters to close out the top of the 7th inning, and we stay at 3-0 Beavs. It's stretch time here at Jimmy John's Field on Thirsty Thursday. Take me out to the ball game, presented by Genesis Credit Union on the other side.
Your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
After singing about peanuts and Cracker Jack, we are back. Jacob Maurer, Tom Cavanaugh from the USPBL Network. It's a 3-0 Beaver lead over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Beavers at 14-21 on the season, looking for win number 15. And Eastside in jeopardy of falling under 500 to 19-20. They just have 9 outs to play with. Sense of urgency is kicking in right now. They need to score a few, but it's going to be up to the Beavers to put a few insurance on the board, with Ryan Carolden going back out for another frame.
Yeah, no lead is safe in the USPBL. 3-run lead is pretty cushy here, but you always want to add some more runs. But Ryan Carolden was fantastic there in the bottom of the 6th inning. Going out for another inning of work. We'll see if he can be efficient again.
just based on how this Hopper offense has been trending over the last couple of games, a 3-0 lead for Birmingham feels like an extremely large margin, rather than a usual ball game when everybody's playing their best ball, scoring a bunch of runs. A 3-0 lead is very something small. It's a minor lead.
Yeah, and for Eastside yesterday, they only scored 1 run. And then today, none to show for it through 7. They've had their chances.
They have. They really have. 8 base runners left on board. 6 of the 8 in scoring position. Sorry, 7 of the 8 have been left in scoring position. 1-1 breaking pitch misses downstairs to Blake Bean. It'll be Bean, Piotrowski, and Burke. 0 for 3 day for the lefty Bean. Strikeout, pop out, and a fly out to right field. Make it 3-1.
Bean has had some great at-bats, though. He's been battling all his at-bats against Pierce Banks. First time facing Ryan Carolden. Heading the count right now.
Carolden very tall, stands as he moves to the windup. The 3-1 misses. Outside ball 4. It's a leadoff walk for the Beavers.
That's good to see from Blake Bean because he's been battling all game long. Finally, he gets rewarded for a good at-bat there.
It'll bring up Matt Piotrowski, who just notched his 38th hit of the season. He's 1 for 3 in this game. Carolden's first pitch, swung on and missed. Fastball at 88, high and inside.
We said Carolden would only get up to about 30 pitches. He's at 16 right now. If he could get through the 7th, that would be big for Eastside, as they already have some movement over there in the bullpen.
Delmas Russ is jogging on down right now to start getting loose. Swing and a miss. Sorry, foul ball a little bit low, 1-1. Carolden an extra pause. Now goes home. Foul ball back into the street on Auburn Road.
Hopefully you didn't park your car there.
No. I've had my fair share of incidents with parking around here. Just haven't been hit with a ball yet.
Keep mine about a mile away.
Yeah, I see you walk in sometimes from that parking lot out there, and I'm on the other side, over by the player lot. There's a pick back to first. So, I mean, maybe you could get one over there, but it's got to be guys like Drew Fleming, Fox Liam to foul one all the way back.
Yeah,
but Noah Marcoux could hit your car from
there's a 900-foot home run. I'd rather see that and pay the damages later.
Piotrowski somehow keeps this fair. Nice play from Maddox is in time. Forehand play, do or die from Todd Maddox, exchanges to the throwing hand and throws a bullet for out number 1.
I do not know how that ball did not go foul, but great job by Todd Maddox, reading it perfectly, able to get it. Nice flip and throw over to first, and that's a big out here in the bottom of the 7th.
I mean, on our track sheet here, that pitch is way, way, way inside. No clue how Piotrowski kept that down the third base line, but credit to Maddox for being there and making the play. Bean moves up to second base. It's Joe Burke's time. Half-hearted hack, down 0-1.
Joe Burke delivered earlier in this game with an RBI single. Has another opportunity here with Bean over there at second.
Did it last time with 2 outs. This time he's got 1. 7 total hits for Birmingham on 3 runs. Blocked up by Hughes as that breaking pitch misses in the dirt.
Keep mentioning it, Carolden at 21 pitches has about 9 more to work with. You would love to see him get through the bottom of the 7th here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if it's a hard stop, if they do get to that point of 30. If they cut him right off at 30, if they let him finish the inning. But Russ currently getting warm in the Hopper bullpen. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball, way fouled on the left field line over the back of the bullpen and near the Chevy Pavilion.
Bunch of kids running over there trying to get a free souvenir.
That's some parkour.
Whoever got that deserved it. Javi Baez with the baseball.
He had a home run today in a big 2-1 victory. Tigers playing some better baseball of late as well. Knocked off the Mariners. Got one back against the San Francisco Giants as well.
Good to see. 4-game winning streak for the Tigers.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Tipped into the glove, rather. Regardless, it's out number 2. Burke goes down swinging for the first time today.
That was big. Golden gets a huge second out. Now has about 7 pitches to work with to get out of this inning. And I know we've said it so much, but it's so big for Eastside to space out these innings because they only have a few pitchers left.
Mm-hmm. And maybe an unfamiliar face that we're not used to seeing on the mound could have an appearance later today. We'll just have to wait and see. Ray Hilbrick is 1 for 3, doubled in his first at-bat. That was squeaked down the left field line, bringing up some chalk right on the line. Hilbrick holds the hands a little bit away from the body, low. Yanks it on the ground between second and first. It's a play for Martin. Throws on to Carolden. How about it? Ryan Carolden touches the bag, makes the catch, crossing it for out number 3. My goodness. Pitchers are athletes, Jacob Maurer.
And Gehrig over there to try to field it, but Bailey Martin's the one who picked it up, and pitchers are athletes, Tom. Carolden, nice play, little tumble, gets out of the jam, damage free.
Likely the end of the day for him. We go to the 8th, 3-0 Beavers on the USPBL network.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Everyone has something that motivates them to do better. And for me, that's my daughter Shelby. I named Shelby Construction Services after her as a reminder to always run the company in a way that would make her proud. Our goal isn't just to get the job done, but to get it done right. And that means making sure every customer has a 5-star experience. I think how a company treats you is just as important as the finished product. My daughter wouldn't have it any other way.
Call 833-6-SHELBY. That's 833-6-SHELBY.
We've entered the 8th inning. A 3-0 lead for the Beavers. They scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 more in the 4th. And Andrew Verbrugge's day is done for Birmingham. It's time for Brett Irwin, the right-hander. He's going to be tasked with the 8th, possibly the 9th inning. But Brett, so far this year, has been awesome.
He's been fantastic. 19 1/3 innings pitched, a 1.86 ERA, 2-0. His appearance is not a win-loss situation in this one, but making his 18th appearance of the season, a 25-10 strikeout to walk ratio. He knows how to fill up the zone and be efficient.
A 174 batting average against for league hitters against Brett Irwin. I mean, he has shut down everybody that he has faced over the course of his 19 1/3 innings. And those 4 earned runs against, that's a big number. In 19 innings, a little over that, 4 earned. It's good stuff.
Really is.
Noah Marcoux yanks the first pitch foul. Marcoux, he's 1 for 2 with a intentional walk. Following him will be Ferguson, who's 1 for 2 with a walk as well, and then Todd Maddox, who's 0 for 3.
For Marcoux, it was good to see him get out of the slump with that hit early. Then he had that intentional walk, but has to get on here. All you need is to get on base to start a little bit of a rally.
Swing and a miss at a breaking pitch. And that's the one that Noah struggled with yesterday. He went down swinging 3 times last night. And it mostly came from the breaking pitches out of the hands of Carter Fitzpatrick and Matt Swilly.
Yeah, it's been a pitch he's been struggling with as of late.
Like the one Sam Bass threw to him for a single, that's an 88-mile-an-hour fastball right down Main Street. There are a lot more breaking balls are being thrown to Marcoux just because these pitchers know how darn good he is, and they're not going to give him a flat fastball. Now Bass did, and in turn, Marcoux ripped it. Here's the 2-2. Low and inside. Good take.
Good job by Marcoux battling in this at bat. Marcoux in Fox knows how to get on base.
He's got another one. 33 ties Fox lead. And that hit from Marcoux back in the first, that was his 30th of the year. He is now one of 2 players on the Hoppers with 30-plus hits, joining Ben Ferguson, who comes to the dish.
This is big for the Diamond Hoppers. 2 good hitters. Marcoux gets aboard, and now with nobody out, this is the time to rally if you're Eastside.
Big swing and a miss from Ferguson. A base hit, a walk, and a strikeout swinging. He's got a man on and nobody away. Irwin, a very uncharacteristic leadoff walk.
He doesn't walk many. So for Ben Ferguson, I don't expect another walk here unless Ben just has a fantastic at-bat, which I would not put it past him. But he needs to find his pitch to hit and just keep the line moving for Eastside.
Irwin coming in with 92 miles an hour with that last fastball. He does it again on that pitch, does not miss by much. 2-1. As we mentioned, tomorrow's ball game at 7:05 p.m. Mammoths and Unicorns, top 2 teams in the league going at it. Ferguson sends it back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
He's battling. That's what you need to do. Just keep fouling it off. Find your pitch. So important here for the Diamond Hoppers. All they need is just some base runners.
Ben leans back on that back half, wagging the bat over the left shoulder. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Great pitch at 80 miles an hour off speed from Brett Irwin. Gets Ferguson swinging for out number 1.
12 inches of horizontal break. That's what it'll do to you.
I mean, watch this. Wow, off the table.
Late movement too.
Yeah.
So big. That's why Irwin is one of the best pitchers out of the bullpen in the USPBL. Just so nasty.
Here's Todd Maddox with 1 on, 1 out. Blistering fastball at 93 catches the outside corner, 0-1.
And Irwin throws around 4 pitches, which makes him pretty unpredictable. That's why he's been so dominant this season.
Maddox takes at the chin, 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. It's not been a very offensively explosive game today from either side. Birmingham has just done enough to have an advantage, 3-0.
And I think timely hitting has just been the story of this game. The Beavers able to have some timely hits over there in the 4th and the 3rd inning. For Eastside, it's just been the complete opposite.
2-1, tipped into the glove. Nice snag from Ronco behind the dish. Down to their final 4 outs are the Hoppers. 5 outs, I should say. Maddox keeps the at-bat alive with a foul ball. We're just waiting for this Eastside team to break out of the slump, but Jacob, I know there's another end of this week, 1 more week of baseball until we hit playoffs. There's still time for the Hoppers to hit their stride and peak at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, they just need to figure it out.
Ground ball to third. Ortega fields it off the grass cutout. Over to first is in time for out number 2. Marcoux will move up to second base.
Good job by Marcoux getting a good jump on this baseball. Able to avoid the double play. You know how good Birmingham is with turning those. Great throw over there by Ortega and great pick out of the dirt by Burke.
Another opportunity with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs for the Hoppers.
But Tom, you mentioned it earlier that the playoffs are just around the corner, and for Eastside, you need to start building momentum. Maybe it's not this game, but you have a week to figure it out because in 1-game eliminations, anything can happen. And if you can get hot at just the right time, you never know where you could end up.
It's kind of baptism by fire in a little bit of a sense because they're playing 6 games in 8 days, so they're kind of forced to figure it out, you know?
Baptism by fire. Never heard that one before, but it's a good one. That's really what they're dealing with because a lot of games, you got a lot of time to figure it out. But they need to figure it out quickly, especially with Tom, as you mentioned, playoffs are just around the corner.
September 5th, 6th, and 7th are our playoff days. The 5th, it'll be the quarterfinal game between the 3 and the 4 seeds. The 6th will be the number 2 seed taking on the winner of 3 versus 4. And then on Saturday, the 7th, that's the number 1 seed taking on whoever comes out of those bottom 3 seeds. 2-2 now to Zeb Rose with a man on second base and 2 gone.
Rose in this game, 1 for 2. It's a big shot here. All you need is 1 run, and I think the doors can break open for Eastside.
Not missing by much. Irwin and the rest of the defense was headed off the diamond as that pitch did not miss by a ton. Full count to Zeb.
And just trying to paint that outside corner. So close.
Man, Ronco did all he could to keep that on the corner.
That was a great frame job.
3-2 is low. Ball 4. 2 walks in the inning for Brett Irwin. Brings the tying run to the dish in the 8th inning.
And 2 rare walks by Brett Irwin. Great at bat though by Zeb Rose. Rose just seeing it just on the lower half. These are tough pitches to take.
Yeah, that one a little bit lower or a little bit farther than the last one, but still with 2 strikes, it's tough to lay off a pitch that's borderline like that. Matt Gehrig looks at strike 1. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, 1 each way, looking and swinging, and he flied out to left field back in the 4th.
But Gehrig has some power in this bat. 4 home runs this season. 1 swing, and this game's tied.
This ball squeaks by Ronco. Moving up to third base is Marcoux. To second is Rose. And now a base hit makes it a 1-run ball game with some speed on second.
That's huge. Move up 90 feet. Get 2 runners in scoring position. Just 1 hit away from making this a brand new ball game.
And Stefanovic behind the dish, you never see a ball get by him like that. I know it was out of the zone, but he's always very good at keeping the baseball in front of him. Tries to frame that on the corner. Does not get the call. 2-1 to Gehrig. Waiting on deck, Whit Hughes. Then it will be Bailey Martin. 2 on with 2 out. Irwin trying to work out of yet another jam for this Beaver defense. Strike called. Evens the count.
Great pitch. Needed it. 3-1 and 2-2 is a whole world of difference.
Brings your batting average drastically up or down several points depending on those count changes. Irwin stepped off to reset the pitch clock. 2s are wild on the way. Make it 3-2. Brett Irwin can't believe that wasn't called for a strike, but from our view and our technology, that was outside by an inch or so.
Just a little bit. I think Ranko is just doing a great job framing these pitches.
He's making them look good for the defense and Brett Irwin. Fouled away. 3-2 the count stays. Good fight from Gehrig here.
I've been surprised by Eastside. They're having nice battles against Brett Irwin. Got another good one here.
Gehrig awaits the 3-2. On the way, swing and a miss. Brett Irwin walks a pair but pitches around it. Strands 2 more in scoring position for the Diamond Hoppers. 3-0 Beavers. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. You're watching USPBL Baseball.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be. Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Bottom of the 8th inning, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Down the first baseline, Dom and Chilla on the first base side cam, giving you a shot inside the Jimmy Johns Field press box. Jacob Maurer, Tom Cavanaugh, along with Devin Wiles and Owen Pfeiffer, both of our lead analytics interns that make us look great on the broadcast with all the numbers. Check out Dom with some moves. It's been a great game so far. Not a ton of scoring, but clean baseball we've seen all around. Glad to be a part of it with you, Jacob.
Yeah, it's been a great game so far. You know, not a lot of action offensively, but baseball can be played two different ways, and both are beautiful. The way the defense has shown out, the pitching has shown out, able to get out of a lot of clutch situations, especially for the Beavers. And now Ryan Carolden still on the mound for Eastside. We thought he would be limited to the 7th being his last inning, but Eastside needs him to go out there for one more. We'll see how long he'll last.
Carolden has faced 7 batters. He sat down the Beavs 1, 2, 3 in the 6th, walked the leadoff man Bean in the 7th, and then retired Piotrowski, Burke, and Hilbrick in order. But he's sitting right around 30 pitches, 25 it is at the moment, and likely needs to be a quicker inning for Carolden. We saw Delmas Russ doing some light stretching. No pitching off of the mound, getting ready in the bullpen to go in immediately. So it's Carolden's game, trailing by 3 as Ortega leads us off. Swing and a miss, make it 0-2.
And I wonder still if we're going to see that 30-pitch limit at 27 right now. I wonder if he'll go the full and finish off the 8th.
We're never this intrigued with pitch counts when it comes to starting and relief pitchers. It's just in this, I guess, certain instance where the Hoppers are playing so many games in a short amount of time, they have to manage their bullpen accordingly.
For sure. It's just such a unique situation, especially with how the scheduling game has played out.
And with Banks and both John Kelly throwing 100-plus pitches as this ball's fouled on the left field line. I mean, you got to look at every guy now and say, how long is he going to go? Because 2 of your starters in Banks and Carolden were dark horses throwing a ton.
And I know you have 2 days off, but you're right back at it on Sunday.
Yeah.
That could put a lot of stress on a manager.
Carolden drops through the windup. The 1-2 pitch has popped up. On the infield, Maddox called off by Stevenson. 1 up, 1 down.
Stevenson with the #1 priority being the shortstop. Able to call that clear and concisely. You're able to hear that all the way up here in the booth.
Yeah, he was hollering. I think Maddox went after it at first, and then you heard Stevenson call for it at the last minute.
Yep, just wanted to put out.
0 for 1 with 2 walks for Chase Rodriguez. He scored on one of his walks back in the 4th inning. Strike called on the first pitch from Carolden.
That was perfectly painted on the inside corner. Beautiful pitch.
Ground ball, base hit into right field. Rodriguez is aboard with 1 gone.
Found his pitch, ripped it right between the hole between Gehrig and Martin. Quick bat speed here.
Can we get a shot of the right field bullpen of the Hoppers, please? This will bring up Branko Stefanovic, getting his first at-bat of the day. He came in defensively in the 6th inning for Tyler Shin. Shin ended the day 1 for 3. Branko breaks his bat, pulls it down the third baseline, fair! Into the corner. Rodriguez onto third base. Down to second goes Branko. Double on the first pitch that he sees, and it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and he gives the Jordan shrug.
I mean, when you come in, face 1 pitch and rip it down that left field line, watch this, just dot the line and stay fair. Stefanovic able to get onto second for a big double for the Beavers.
Wow.
Trying to add on some more insurance here in the 8th.
That piques my interest a little bit. Branko had a pinch hit situation in the 9th inning back on August 10th. He had an RBI double in that same spot and saw just 2 pitches. Branko again, he had an RBI base hit back on the 9th. He's just been red hot lately. Line drive from Ruiz for a single. This could score 2. Being held up at third is Stefanovic. Scoring is Rodriguez. And moving down to second with all the speed in the world is Pablo Ruiz on the throw. 4-0 Beavers.
Ruiz doing a nice job base running there. They went to third because Ronco just overran the bag by a bit, able to get in there safely. But Ruiz saw it, able to advance to second. Great base running by the Beavers.
3 straight knocks against Ryan Carolden, and the infield is now in for the Hoppers, trailing by 4. Ben Wilcoxon will bat. He's got 2 hits, one of them for an RBI. Pablo Ruiz 2 for 4 on the day with a double and an RBI single with that last one. A little bit of insurance late from the Beavers. Any little bit helps in a close ball game. 10 total hits now for Birmingham. Wow. The 0-1 is flicked into center field. Rose was playing shallow. He'll come in, make the catch. Stefanovic's going to fake the tag. What a throw from Zeb. 2 gone as Stefanovic's got a hold up at third base.
And that's why he didn't tag up. Absolute gun of an arm from Zeb Rose out there in center field. Able to keep Ronco, over there at third base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. We'll see if Carolden can get out of this jam. Pitch count at 36. A little bit higher than we thought he would go in this game, but if he can get through 3, that would be big for the Diamond Hoppers.
Still second and third with 2 outs. Blake Bean 0 for 3 with a walk today. Twirling the bat high over the left shoulder. Waiting on the first pitch. Lines it in the left center field gap. It's got some tail. Marcoux is there, and he reaches up and puts it in his back pocket for out number 3. We go to the 9th. One more run for the Beavers on the RBI swing from Pablo Ruiz, and the Hoppers need 4 to tie and send this thing to the bottom half of the 9th inning. You're watching USPBL Baseball. We'll be back in a minute.
Build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
Final inning of action from a thirsty Thursday on a beautiful night at the ballpark in downtown Utica, Jimmy John's Field. From the USPBL Network, Jacob Maurer, Tom Cavanaugh. It's been a great ball game. The Hoppers unable to have scored runs through 8. This is their last chance. 8-9-1 hitters. It's going to start with the bottom here with Hughes and Martin.
And all they need to do is just get on base. Make sure you see some pitches. Don't try to swing early. You need some base runners on. Just need to build that momentum and get a rally going.
Hoppers lost by 4 yesterday in a 5-1 finish to the Mammoths. It would be their 3rd straight public loss if they're not able to make a comeback against Irwin. The 1-0, a little bit low. We saw some command issues earlier in last inning from Brett Irwin, but he wasn't really missing by much. I know he lost Marcoux on a 3-2 pitch and Rose, same thing on 3-2, but he was very competitive.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's really good at painting the outside corners, and he just missed by just a little bit. Ronco was trying to frame those the best he could, but I have no doubts he can get his command back.
Over the head goes Irwin on the 2-1 pitch. Outside. Ronco didn't even try to frame that back in. 3 balls and 1 strike to the catcher, Whit Hughes, leading us off here in the top of the 9th inning. Ground ball to third. Nice play from Ortega as he catches it on the shoelaces. Throw to first is in time. 1 up, 1 down.
That's a great play by Ortega. That took a weird bounce, able to scoop it up in the glove, as you're going to see right here on the replay. Bounces, able to catch it in the air on the bounce. Make a routine throw over to first.
That's key. Not waiting on that second hop to let the ball eat you up. You just take it on that first high bounce and pick it off the dirt. Bailey Martin 0 for 3 today. His double was corrected to an error on Ortega, and he's down in the count 0-1.
Needs to get on base to give this Diamond Hopper team some life. Doesn't need to be anything special. A walk or a single will do.
Cut and a miss, 0-2. 92 with a fastball right down the middle from Brett. Irwin now 20 and a third innings of work. And he's diced up through that time. Another strikeout for the Hopper hitters. Third of the day for Brett Irwin. And the Hoppers are down to their final out.
Just nasty right there. Just had his way the whole at-bat. Yeah. Brett Irwin.
And he climbed in speed, too.
Showcasing why he's one of the best relievers in the USPBL. And he's not slowing down. 93 on that pitch.
He was 91 on the first pitch, 92 on the second, and 93 on the third. Here's Colin Cornwell, who pokes it down the left field line. Chugging on to 2. Third double in 2 days for Colin keeps the Hoppers alive in the 9th.
And as the Hoppers offense has kind of regressed as we've gone into August, Colin Cornwell has heated up. Only a few weeks in the USPBL, but he has been fantastic, showing why he has such good bat-to-ball skills here, going the opposite way, getting on for a double. The Hoppers want to rally. They only got 1 out to work with, but with a runner in scoring position, all you need is 1 run to keep those going.
Pinch hitter in the ball game now, it's Luis Aviles. Got the day off behind the dish as Hughes made the start, and Luis in a pinch hit spot with 2 gone. Grounds 1 to third base on the first pitch. Ortega, it's past him. Will Coxon is backing up on shallow left field grass and keeps it near the infield. So the inning continues, and now the tying run is on deck. So you can start to, I guess, manage a little bit better with 2 gone. It's going to be on Marcoux here to keep the inning alive, but that's the same sort of play there we saw from Ortega on that first ground ball.
Yeah, that was the same exact play that he used to get the first out, and this one just took an even weirder bounce, just bounced just below, not as high as the one before.
Base hit from Marcoux on the first pitch. Scoring is Cornwell. Aviles stops it 2, and hey now, these Hoppers not going anywhere. Marcoux picks up an RBI, his second hit of the game.
And that's all they needed, Tom, just to get a hit. Colin Cornwell gets the double. Luis Aviles, pinch hit, gets on base. And Noah Marcoux finally delivering a hit to score a run for Eastside. I'm telling you, hitting is contagious. We'll see if they can keep this line going.
Down to their final out with nobody aboard. Cornwell doubles. Aviles finds himself on with the error, and Marcoux rips the first pitch into right field. Ferguson today is 1 for 3 with a walk. He has struck out swinging in his last 2 at-bats. Called at the knees, 0-1. That's right there.
And tying run to the plate. Need to be careful here. That was a great pitch.
At the bottom rung, middle of the plate. Ferguson down 0-2. Beautiful breaking ball, snaps in on the lower inside corner, and Ferguson's going to take time.
And Irwin has done a great job responding here. 2 fantastic pitches right on the inside corner. That's exactly where you want it if you're Brett Irwin.
Hoppers down to their final strike. Here's the 0-2. High and inside, not missing by much, but what a take from Ben.
Story of the day for Brett. So close.
It has been, really. It's been very small margin of misses all day long through his 2 innings. The 1-2. Pulled ground ball to first. It's going to be foul.
And just staying alive by inches there. That was barely foul. Less than an inch off the line there.
Yeah, I don't know how Piotrowski kept his fair, but that one ended up hooking around foul. Avila stands at second base. It's Marcoux who just drove in the first run of the game. He's over at first. 1-2 pitch from Irwin on the way. Fly ball to right field from Ferguson. Going back is Ruiz. He makes the catch a few feet away from the wall in right field. This ball game is over and the Beavers win 4-1. Another 10 feet and we'd be tied, Jacob. Wow, that was close.
Big sigh of relief from Brett Irwin. That ball was crushed but just missed it by a hair. As you mentioned, Tom, 10 feet away from a brand new ball game, but the Beavers get it done. A 4-1 victory here. As you mentioned, Tom, 10 hits on the ball game. Their offense was great all game long. They've always applied pressure throughout this whole game on Eastside and their pitchers. Eastside trying to battle back in the 9th inning, but ultimately it fell short.
And how about Sam Bass? 6 innings, 5 hits allowed, no runs, 8 strikeouts. He was what they needed to get a big win today, picking up a 15th win, moving up to 15-21 on the season. Birmingham got a great start. They followed it up with a little bit of offense in the middle innings, scoring 2 in the 3rd, 1 more in the 4th, and then some insurance late in the ball game.
Great pitching by the Beavers, great hitting by the Beavers, and great defense by the Beavers. Really a good game all around from Birmingham Bloomfield. But as you mentioned, Sam Bass, 6 innings pitched, 8 Ks. He was fantastic and got even better as the game went on. Good start from him and good win for the Beavers.
Hoppers fall to 19-20, the second time they've fallen a game below 500 this year, and they'll be back in action on Sunday for their final game of the week. That's going to do it for us here at Jimmy John's Field. Your final score one more time, 4-1. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers take it over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Want to give a huge thank you to our entire production team today. Director Christian Jackson, cameraman Vance Harvey, and Vershaplo, Jackson Bickers on the graphics, and Dom Minchella on the camera ball follow. Jacob, thanks so much, man. I know it's your last day tomorrow. I love being up here for today's game with you, man.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Tom. Such fun calling these games with you. Been fantastic to work with you all season long.
Final score one more time. Beavers improved to 15-21. They get a 5-4-1 victory over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll be back on tomorrow, 7:05, for the Mammoths and Unicorns from the USPBL Network. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow.